Good morning, Oni Dojo. How's everybody doing today? I am fashionably late as I am wont to be. Hello there, sort of a demon. Congratulations on claiming your first in both chats. Don't forget to also smash that like button. Apparently, it does good things for discoverability. Let's see if we can't lure some YouTube people into the Oni basement. Meow to yourself, Digby Cat. How are you doing? Excuse me while I caffeinate myself. Got my last can of yerba mate because I am too lazy to reach under my desk and actually pick up the freshly boiled tea kettle. I guess we can start with some reacting. Playing Stalker 2 and marveling at how absurdly stupid characters in this game are. Stalker 2 is a very unfortunate victim of the Pirimoga because as much as the developers can cope piss and shit and smear themselves in salo, the original Stalker game was made by people who were culturally Russian before it was cool to sort of atomize Ukrainians as like a distinctly separate group, which they really aren't. That is kind of tragic, and because of that, like Stalker realistically is supposed to be a Russian language game. That should be the primary language of it. More the writing of the characters, they do some dumb stuff and scam each other constantly for no meaningful gain. Oh no, that's actually no, that's how the post-Soviet space operates. Just everyone, I would say, it probably ends in it. They mostly stopped doing that. Maybe in Germany, anything eastward is just like that. You just not interacted with Slavs enough. Not to say that all of them do it, but how should I put this? Not all Slavs are like that, but a lot of the people like that are Slavs. I'm not even sure what kind of slop to watch. I don't know what I'm in the mood for. We'll see. We'll see what we can try to. Let me just try to scrape the bottom of the barrel here. You know what? Okay, I think a Mike Israetel video, rather a critique of
Not
Mike
only is Dr.
Israetel,
Mike's
is something that I would like to break down because I have some opinions about that. I also have some brisk Twitter reacts. Twitter was increasingly interesting yesterday. Let's see. Short videos. Oni Dojo, I am concerned for the amount of Twitter and Blue Sky reacts that you send in. I live in despair over your attention spans. What happened to Shibuya Halloween parties? Okay, let's have a read over that because I remember that being a big thing. All you're seeing on Twitter is Bricken and Linux news. That is entirely on you and the way you curate your timeline because my Twitter is 99% manga, doujin, and artists, and the rest is the occasional political news that manages to seep in. There was apparently a recent big kerfuffle over someone who seems to be religiously Muslim refusing a commission to do a lesbian ship. Oh, I'm implying you dislike it? Well, by all means, then enjoy. I'm not seeing enough Bricken. That actually is a thing. For some reason the only time I see Bricken is uh when I see VTuber male responding to someone Bricken posting, which isn't frequent. I think we need to see more Bricken posting. All right, let's start with the shorter span ones. A black streamer tries to enter a restaurant and cause a scene. He is denied entry at the door by a fatigued man with comprehensive training. Now the streamer is trying to sue the restaurant, big if true. Let's see. Let's roll that back.
Show me. Show me fucking jujitsu.
That's a great opener.
Oh, you're close. And
why are you touching me?
I'm not touching you,
Mr. Bald Man. Why are you touching me?
First of all, that's you cannot call me bald. But
you are bald, Mr. Clean. So why would you?
It's nice though.
I was trying to order food. Why are you touching me?
I'm not touching you.
You want to get folded like a lawn chair right now?
You do jujitsu?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes, do you?
Show me.
Show you? Keep
Show
touching me. Keep touching me.
Show me. Show me fucking jujitsu.
That is a Polish bouncer. You don't fuck with a Polish bouncer, or any Slavic bouncer for that matter. These people do not care. They took the job simply to have an excuse for violence. My brother in Christ, you did not know where you came in. 15 is a good number, in fact, sort of a demon. Congratulations on the streak. Thank you for being with the community. This man woke up 30 years ago and chose violence every morning.
Show me fucking jujitsu.
Hey, get out my face, bro.
Get off my face, kid.
Get out my face, bro. Get back inside right now, bald man. Touch me, man. Come on, Billy Badass. No!
You want me to call the cops for the trespassing?
I was trying to order food and you're being a jackass. Where's the manager? No, I need the manager now.
You're being disrespectful for us, so please.
There? You work there?
No.
New York?
All right, yeah. Let me find out you work there, man.
Absolutely torched.
Show me. Show me fucking jujitsu.
Fabulous. Absolutely fantastic. Realistically, just don't fuck with people who grew up in cultures where both fathers and casual violence are present. I'm sorry, but the EBT Americans are not ready for that smoke. All right, what is this?
You can get a plumber to your house in the middle of the night within an hour. But if you go to the ER, you could wait 6 hours. Why? The federal government never tried to make plumbing affordable and accessible. You can buy an 85-inch television for $1,000, but a dialysis machine costs $30,000. Why? The federal government never tried to make televisions affordable and accessible.
I like the reasoning. I have to disagree with some of it. I would wager that a dialysis machine is, how should I put this? There is a significantly higher standard of manufacturing. Is some of that $30,000 bloat? Yes. Yes, the manufacturing complexity of a dialysis machine is very different from a TV. That's the exact point that I was about to make there, Digby. Is it $30,000 more difficult? Probably not. Like, I'm going to say that at least half of that is actually licensing bloat, and like the federal government should be somehow to blame for that. But no, my guy, that's not it. No. No. There are also more plumbers than there are doctors, so that also speaks to the accessibility of it.
You can get LASIK surgery done for $1,500 because it's not covered by Medicare or Medicaid, because it's elective. But if you get a major surgery, it could cost you $100,000. Why? The federal government never tried to make LASIK affordable and accessible. Socialism is killing every industry it touches.
Like, my man, I really want to agree with you, but your examples are bad. Okay, let's move on. It's like aviation, you spend more not for the thing or the brand, but for the certainty and the accountability. Yeah, it's pay once, cry never, which is a pretty good approach in medicine. But again, our medical system has issues, Medicare and Medicaid being one of them. But the real problems don't really lie there. Hello there, fire rescue guy. You're a new fan. Why, welcome. Welcome, welcome. We like new fans here and old fans. We like everyone. Okay. African migrants fight amongst themselves in Japan. You can see deportation. He can see deportations in their future. Okay, let's see.
You don't know me. All people is straight. All people know me. You don't know me. You want to test me? Hey, hey. Not talk to me. Not talk to me, please. Oh, not talk to me. You want to test me? You want to test me? Test me? I'll fuck you now. You are fucking. I don't do can Japanese police and you. Can't get it. Nani? Wait. Not please. What do you want? Wait.
Hey there, anarchist. I don't think the Japanese have yet grown the correct kind of teeth to quickly apprehend and deport disruptive elements like that. They've not developed that adaptation yet. Holy Nigerian Batman. One of them is probably just a Nigerian bar scammer, and the others are probably tourists. I spoke to a gentleman in JMS's Discord yesterday when we were playing Gray Zone, and he did mention that for some that the Nigerians are a particular point of contention that he's noticed. I would wager a bet that that probably has to do with the fact that his primary mode of entertainment in Japan is bar crawling in like the skeevier parts of Tokyo. So that's probably why he would have more surface area with Nigerians rather than any other invasive group in Japan. You buy a TV and breaks, sucks to be you. You buy a dialysis machine and it breaks, the manufacturer can be held liable. Yeah, that's fairly reasonable. Yes, especially because a dialysis machine not functioning correctly potentially endangers other people, especially patients. All right, let's see. What happened to the Halloween parties? There were Halloween parties in Shibuya as recently as 2024. I know that because was I in Tokyo for Halloween, or was I in Kyoto by then? I think I was in Kyoto by then. Yes, because I specifically refused to plan around the Shibuya party. Beside the point. Japan's famous for spooky folklore, ghost stories, mysterious spirits. Shibuya, Tokyo added a modern twist, turning into the country's wildest Halloween hotspot with thousands of costume partygoers every October. However, in 2025, the city banned street gatherings. Good. Today we explore what happened to the Halloween in Shibuya and show where you can still celebrate spooky season across Japan. Do not go to Japan. I'm sorry, you can no longer go to Japan. Normies, get out. Japan is only for the weeaboos. Unless you are a hardline, like apocalyptic level weeaboo with at least a spoken N3 Japanese, you cannot come in. Before the ban, okay, other places that okay, Universal Park. I assume Disney Sea would also have something for Halloween. I know I'm kind of utterly disinterested in it. There is it wasn't a Halloween, but it was like still a spooky season themed kind of thing, like a yokai float, or like a yokai parade that was happening around Kyoto. Let me see if I can find, because I think I have a photo of the poster somewhere. Mm, 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 mm. camera. I probably moved it into my travel logs. Let's see, that's last year. Where would that poster be? Let's see. Night streets, food, 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 more food. There it is. Fushimi Yokai Sake Festival. I think that's the one. That was like early November. 2023. Ah, yeah, that's right. Let me see if I can't find any information about that. Fushimi Yokai Sake Festival. There it is. Not a big drinker myself. I am more aligned with Lucky Palmer on that one. Okay, November 15th, the Fushimi Sake Festival in Otesuji's shopping street will be held. Is that it? Are there no more details? Can we get like photos or something? Come on, let's Why is it all on Instagram? I don't want to log into Instagram. You know what? I really like the traditional twist on it. I think it looks cool. Just a tiny bit corny, but still cool. Did we watch this video last time? I don't think we have. If Nobita is unhappy, then good things are happening. All right, let's watch this 84-year-old grandma still baking 400 buns a day in Japan.
ありがとうございました。
20年ぶりぐらい。
だから働き続けています。
ちょっと頭打たないよ。
あ、すいません。
This is a cozy little store.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Hey, ohayou gozaimasu.
おいくつですか？
84。
お店を始められたのは、
はい、
いつ頃なんですか？
昭和45年ですね。それで55年になる。なんかもあっという間にね、55年来ます。もうバタバタバタバタねしながら、土曜は特に早く。もう私もよ。
Let's take a moment to notice something. Japan has I would say, very robust social support network. So Japanese pensions, I believe, are pretty significant. Despite that, this woman chooses to continue working. Let's just take a note of that work ethic. And whenever you hear someone complain, "Oh, my Japanese toxic work culture," no. You are just an irony-poisoned millennial who resents that he has to work for a living. This is what people are supposed to do. You are not supposed to just wait idly for death while the government pays you a pittance. You are supposed to have a purpose in every day of your life. Yeah, base grandma, exactly. There are a lot There are a lot of people in Japan like that. A lot of the mom and pop shops, a lot of the small businesses are run by people like that. Not all of them elderly, by the way. Some of the shops are run by our people, by my peers, people in their 30s who have sometimes either established that shop themselves or they have inherited that shop from a previous generation, as it should be.
中のね、12時前には起きてきますので、充電しとかって。
Meet Gym Monster 2, your all-in-one smart home gym. Set it up anywhere, no limits.
'30s old? How dare you?
そうです、補聴器です。これ血圧の薬を飲み始めたらずっと飲まんといけないんで。
Terminal inheriting property is problematic, actually. I am going to throw you out of a helicopter. How are you doing, Seko? Remember to leave a like as your reparations for not watching ads on Twitch. If we even have ads on Twitch, just a second. Oh no, we're labeled as political content. Never mind. We don't have ads today, and I don't feel like taking that off. I shall pity I shall pity you. I am a merciful Oni, and I will spare you ads today. A stream without Twitch yelling at you to join the Marines? I don't know, man. If money was no issue and I didn't have to actually work for a living, I would try to YOLO myself into a Green Beret program. I would have to double up on my running. So either Marines or Air Force ads. That's true. I sometimes get National Guard ads as well. You notice that people in military recruiting ads are getting whiter and whiter? Concerning. I've actually not noticed that. There was like a very brief spike, and then it went back to normal. I've only got a National Guard ad once. I wouldn't attribute that to something happening. Because nothing ever happens, nothing disrupts the cycle of death and rebirth. But I think that Secretary of War Pete Hegseth might have fired everyone who was responsible for putting up the ads with underrepresented minorities.
まあ親父について見て覚えれってそんな感じをもう基本的には昔の人間やけんね
The firings will continue until good things are made. Yeah, exactly.
横に立ったまま寝とったもん
Mmm. That looks good. That's not your glycerin-laced Wonder Bread. That's actual fresh white bread. Okay, interesting. Pizza sauce. Fresh loaf postings. Oh, so it's going to be like mini pizzas. Okay. A little bit of mozzarella cheese. That is a cast iron pot. Like, again, she looks frail. Obviously, the scoliosis has gotten pretty bad at this age. But she is handling a cast iron pot with very disadvantageous leverage. That is very impressive. Japanese grandma is not to be messed with. Yes, very true. There was a story back in, I'm going to say, the 2010s, when a Japanese pensioner was out walking in, well, he was trekking in the mountains, and a white-breasted Himalayan bear sort of rolled up on him and attacked him. I believe that, well, he was like a relatively elderly gentleman. He was like in his late 60s. And he beat the snot out of the fucking bear because it turned out that he's like a Rokudan at Kyokushin Karate. Oh, that looks good. Oil fried donuts, hell yeah. Mmm, chicken breast. Is it chicken breast? I think it's tendies. With like 80 years of oil? Yeah, that makes it better. Real questions, does she use seed oil or animal fats? I would probably guess she uses seed oil. That's usually your go-to for deep frying in Japan. Very, very rarely do they use animal tallows. Probably something. You know what? I think it's probably olive oil. Olive or sunflower, actually. Sunflower, most likely. I think that's the most common medium used for frying. See, it's cleaned out after every use. Used to know a guy who did deep frying in butter. Man's a lunatic, but God, they were good. That sounds delicious. What are we putting inside of the buns? Oh, okay. What is that? A little bit of butter. A little bit of pizza sauce. It's gonna be like a mini burger. Oh, they are little mini burgers. I see. So it's like a brioche bun. Curry burgers, okay. I did not have breakfast yet. Oh. Oh, they even make their own in-house pretzels. Little baguettes. I never quite understood melon pan, melon bread, because it's just bread with like melon flavoring. Oh, okay, she puts cream in. Good God, it's still dark outside. Watching food content on an empty stomach is not for the weak. I am strapped down to my streaming chair, so it's not like I have a lot of options here. Today is Saturday, so I get to order some kind of yummy goy slop. We're probably gonna get some chicken and waffles. Sandwiches, nice. Hot dogs. Hot dogs for $1. Not even $1.50 for $1. Cream rolls, hell yeah.
25種類くらいかな。
何個ぐらい作ってるんですかね。
300の後半、400弱ですかね。
I generally do fine with that kind of food. Mexicans have a similar pastry but without melon flavor. I tend to make theirs larger and theirs more typically dry fashion. I see.
すすめ。あ、ハンバーガーとかカレーパンとかですね。小豆もうちで炊いてますので。
おお。
はい、お願いします。はい。
One of my favorite things is talking to shopkeepers who like run their own little business because they tell you so much interesting stuff. And you can see that they really appreciate you like actually trying to establish content with them, trying to establish contact with them without it being farming for content, which is, you know, an increasingly common thing, unfortunately. Like if you're just a normal, genuine human being and you're just having a conversation with them about the thing that they are subject matter experts in, usually makes their day.
940円です。ありがとうございました。ありがとうございます。またよろしくお願いします。
半日以上働くよね、絶対。それ20時間ぐらい働いてるかもしれない。寝てる時間5時間寝れたらいいかなって。5時間は多分寝てないよね。途中で目が覚めるもん。昔は寝てたら手がしびれて痛くなってそれで目が覚めて。で今はそれがない分、まあその分は人はいいのかもしれんけど。
I assume that's the eldest son, but he seems to be in his 60s. Oh, is that custard? That is custard. Hell yeah. That's why you need to have lots of kids, so that you have more labor force in your kitchen.
そうね、シュークリームとか卵は結構使うんで、80から100ぐらいかな。
Oh, that's so good. I love me a good egg custard. Just whole custard pastries? Is that legal? Oh, they puff up very nice. You think having lots of kids is an insidious plot if you're white? What, excuse me, what? Don't I think that having lots of kids is an insidious plot if you're white? I assume that's post-irony. I actually share a conversation with a local pizzeria liquor store owner with boomers. That was the day that you discovered the meaning of Gen Z's use of the term terminally online. I love treating local business owners like fellow human beings. Did I not see that? No. It was the first thing that you saw when you opened Twitter? Well, that's your mistake of not having a very carefully curated timeline on Twitter. First thing I see every time I open Twitter is anime tits and ass. '07 for all of the phone sufferers out there. Oh, those are little eclairs! Oh no, I want to crash out. Anarchist, are you in the Discord? I will take. Someone just rolled in and said, "I will take your entire stock." Good thing you walk so much you can just eat whatever. I'm doing pretty good on my expenditure. I did some bag work on Thursday. Don't use Discord a bunch. Other than DMs with some friends. I see. Well, then you can't. Then I guess you can't share the article with us now, can you? No, I'm kidding. I think you should be able to post it in the chat. Can't they send one of the kids to collect it? You'd feel guilty. No, Digby. Here's the thing. I think that like being active and like walking around and sort of participating in life is actually very important for someone of an advanced age. Once you start covering them in bubble wrap a little too much, they actually don't feel great. They start to deteriorate. That, and I don't think they're supposed to send the kids outside, like especially not unsupervised. It's a kindergarten. So they probably are under obligation to have all of the kids wrangled in the pens at all time and accountable for them at all times. No, that's the local Buddhist priest. You were being taught to spot car bombs at that age? Well, guess that's the difference between the West and Japan.
Hi, Mom. I brought home some laundry.
Is your washing machine still broken?
Then again, Japan doesn't have an Ireland, so I guess that would be the differential factor.
나는 어떤 고동단지가 있다 보이겠나요? 뭐 다른 뭐 도저히 선대지.
Oh, so he does have kids. Okay. Damn, the eclairs are flying off the shelves. Digby, would you say that that Aum Shinrikyo were the Irish of the Japanese? Oh, not V. Okay, let's see. Oh, that one, the Economist article. Okay, I may have seen that one. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, thank you. Make America Procreate Again among the MAGA fertility fanatics. That's an old article, though. That was back when? Nope, this is a new article. Okay. Interesting. I don't have access to the full one. If you can find me an archived version of that. I understand that it's like not him writing the article. I think I've seen something about there was like a nativist convention or like a natalist convention at some point. So everyone was bunching up their panties over that.
初めて誰かがこう紹介してたんですけど、終わった時のクリームめっちゃ美味しそうだなと思って、安さとなんか美味しそうってエクレアとシュークリームで。
My only concern seeing these prices is that they've probably not corrected their retail price for like the better part of 30 years. I think that they could probably run the margins up just slightly, and that would give them a little bit more money for upgrades. It's really interesting how invested they are in people not having kids. Again, if you find me the archive version of the article so that I don't have to log in with credentials, then I'll read through the entire thing. Midday break. Ah, the door slid off the sluts. Okay. Oh, why she doesn't raise her prices? I'm actually interested to hear that one.
いや、昔はまだ安かったんですよ。卵なんかがですね、ものすごく高くなって、他の材料もみんな高くなってますのでね、値上げしてもね。いや。
She could double her prices from what she currently sells it for.
ずっと前、おじいちゃんの時代からですね、そんな風にいい材料を使って安くしてます。粉なんかも一番いい材料を使ってですね、出ますけど。うちで作ってるので、家賃がいらないでしょ。それでなんとかしてます。孫たちもね、なんかする気がないみたいので、できる限りしていきたいと思ってます。稽古でね、あればね。
Well, hopefully the job market will force some of the grandchildren back into the home. The prices could double and would still be fully worth it. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, she can, let me think. What does, I'm trying to think what a 7-Eleven would charge for something like this. Ban evaders, you say? AutoMod actually caught something. That's nice. Hopefully, the children will come back into the fold. All right, let's hear Nobita bitch about it.
Population continuously declines with fewer babies. Foreigners are more and more visible in Japan, and feels like
No. Foreigners are more and more visible because there are more of them. Let's not beat around the bush. You're not gonna pull that shit with me, Nobita.
Much more than 3% of the population.
It's only still a couple of percentage of the total population. It's not big.
No, that's 3%. That's a lot. Like the current state of the UK, sorry to beat a dead horse, Digby. You are our canary down the coal mine here. But the foreigner population of the UK is 7%. And things are dire. So 3% is at least 2% too many.
But it's such an aging society here, and population shrinking, and people coming in tend to be young.
Bloomberg News, okay.
Much younger than most Japanese people. So in other words, these people are more visible.
Now let's talk about Japan for a second, because they have elected their first ever female prime minister. Does not matter that she is a woman, but she is a bad-ass chick and kind of a Trumpian, kick the illegals out of the country.
And the legals as well, please. Yeah, it's bad here. Learn from your mistakes. Your elites became the most faithful acolytes of the neoliberalism, and you paid for it. Yeah, very much so.
First woman prime minister. Normally, the left would go gaga over her, but she's the most right-wing prime minister on the issue of immigration. Here's the New York Times story calling her a hardline conservative. And
she did apparently clamp down on the business visas that were routinely abused by the Chinese, so good for her.
He blamed tourists for kicking the cherished deer in Nara. I'm glad that she used those outrageous incidents by
Tired of sifting through jobs that don't feel like the right fit?
foreigners to win.
While many people support her stance on immigration and
The Brits will stand as the biggest reason to not give up your guns. Well, I mean, all of the Commonwealth, realistically. The Canadians and the Australians are also poster boys of that.
hoping that she's gonna minimize the issues around it. Some of the foreign residents I talked to worry that Japan's gonna be unnecessarily harsher and give you less
No, it's very necessary.
opportunities. And the public also might gonna be affected when it comes to anti-foreigner sentiment, which has been already going on this year.
Oh yeah, why has anti-foreigner sentiment been on the rise, Nobita? Would you like to tell us? Are we just going to gloss over that? The same way that Tucker Carlson just glossed over the fact that Nick Fuentes is apparently a big Stalin fan. They don't have pepper spray ban. It's insane. Listen, friendly anarchists, we've established the guideline here. If a place bans nunchucks, then it is not a real place.
の外国人による犯罪や迷惑行為、そして各種制度の不適切な利用によって国民の皆様が不安や不満、不公平感を感じていらっしゃるというのは今の現状だと思います。
As you might know, policies toward foreigners have recently become a center of political issues, as the concerns been prominent in some cities like Kawaguchi. So it makes sense that she kinda has to take a stronger approach to meet the demand of the public. But on the other hand,
It's almost as if your elected representatives are supposed to do what the electorate wants them to do. Sure wonder why Japan or any Western country would have large amounts of anti-foreign sentiment. Makes you think. I wonder why they hate foreigners. That's the thing, sort of, a demon. They really don't hate foreigners. Like, I've not had a bad interaction with the Japanese over the fact that I am very obviously not Japanese. Like, if anything, the more integrated they assume myself to be, like, the more positive they are about me. Because of my prolific use of Kansai-ben, a lot of the people I interact with just assume that I've either cohabitated for an extended period of time, or married or was married to a woman from Kyoto.
and labor shortage has been more and more concerning, and many in the business community called for greater acceptance of foreign workers, not to mention that some people
That's what automation is for.
strongly claim they are important assets for Japan, so should be more accepted.
Who are these people? Are these because the only people I hear saying that are actual communists, including the Reiwa Shinsen Gumi, whose leader you are showing me on screen right now, who is an actual dyed-in-the-wool commie.
As a part of the country.
一緒に仕事している、職員の方と話をしたら本当に真面目に働いてくれるって話をしている。この人たちがいないともう立ち行かない。この国で一番重要な仕事さえも外国の方々が代わりにやってくださっている状態。
While many people might still resist to accept foreign-born or mixed-race person as a part of the country, in a way they are becoming more and more recognized, and their voices might be
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh no. Oh no. Not Indian prefectural seats. No. Edogawa. Okay. Ooh, that is not great. Do not the Indians. They all have to go back. Line go up, people and communists. I refuse to listen to either of them. That's generally the best way.
Is slowly becoming hard depending on the municipality. He's one of those who are born outside Japan and yet became a representative.
Yeah, the guy who speaks below N2 Japanese and has to ask his wife to actually write legal documents for him. That's such a great precedent that you're setting here.
Of the prefecture. He points out these people could be great assets in Japan's politics in many ways.
There are policies
He's definitely not biased.
that other countries have developed for the same problems that Japan has. In some cases, they are reinventing the wheel. That is to say, other countries have had exactly the same problems, and they have come up with solutions. Now, I understand solutions for their country.
Oh yeah, and how have those solutions panned out? John Sunflower, can you please explain what was the fallout of those solutions for a lot of these countries who tried importing infinity GDP?
But at the same time, some of these programs, some of these policies.
When was the last time you were actually in Canada, my guy? Have you checked on what has occurred in your home country thanks to these solutions?
Policies could be imitated instead of reinvented themselves. I just want people in the administration to know that there are other solutions. There is more than one way to skin a cat. The issue is foreigners don't get their citizenship so often, so they're not eligible to run.
Good. Don't. Canada? You mean New India?
If you can fulfill the basic requirements, and one of the requirements is that you can read and write Japanese, then you can get elected in Japan. I think it doesn't.
It's funny he should say that because he actually can't read and write Japanese. We've seen an interview with him where he says that his wife does the clerical work for him. This man hates cats. One more reason to despise him.
Even really matter about the color of your skin or anything. We bring our own ideas, offer their own solution.
Your ideas are fucking horrendous, my guy.
To give you some context for the city he's been residing in, Tsukuba is one of the few cities in Japan where population has been growing and many young families are moving in with a lot of nature and also research or educational institutions.
The schools are just everywhere. And there are also like a lot of parks. There are 400 parks in Tsukuba. So many of the young families, of course, they love living in Tsukuba. What I noticed about other cities is that if your grandparents or great-grandparents were not born in that location, you are still kind of soto, right? Whereas even the Japanese who live in Tsukuba are all from somewhere else. In terms of developing relationships, it's much easier in Tsukuba simply because it really doesn't depend on where you are from. That includes the Japanese people as well. That is to say, everyone is welcome in Tsukuba. Tokyo is very similar, like people are from everywhere else, so it's the same.
Except it's way more expensive and difficult to raise your kids in Tokyo. So they got mainly...
Tokyo is a horrifically overpriced city. There is very little to do there, or should I say, anything that you could aspire to do in Tokyo in terms of entertainment, or just, pastimes, you can find in any other urbanized Japanese city. And you're going to have half as much overhead for just your stay and for travel. I don't dislike Tokyo. I'm usually struck with how to spend your time effectively there.
Single households, which is expected to be more than half in the future. But Tsukuba is different that they get much more families and children. In other words, much more family friendly. Having said that, it doesn't mean Tsukuba has no issues or concerns. Just like most other cities, population has been aging, which is affecting many industries. And with the rise of foreign workers, some of the residents are quite concerned.
They are certainly becoming concerned. And, I get their concern. But the reality is that we have this issue with the aging population. When I'm in my government, we study this. And it's very clear that we have to bring in these people. And if we...
No, you actually don't. That's the thing. You can cope all day. The line doesn't actually have to go up, first of all. Second of all, you don't have to bring people in. All you have to do is stop taxing your young families to death. Because when a Japanese family can afford kids, they will have at least 3. At least. The Japanese will reproduce at above replacement rates when given the opportunity. And if you don't import foreign labor to plug every hole right now in the short term, wages will also go up, further incentivizing Japanese families to have kids above replacement rates. Okay, I think my YouTube chat is a little cut off. Let me try to expand that slightly. But the line go up. Line will go up eventually. If anything, when you import Infinity Indians or Infinity Pakistanis, the line actually starts going up less, as exemplified by the United Caliphate. Hello there, not Linkara. We're talking about replacement migration being immoral. Boomer, there are other ways the line can go up. That's the thing, Digby. The line doesn't even go up when you have infinity foreigners. We've established that. The line actually stops going up. Because when you invite economical opportunists, they are not going to be contributing to the economy. They're just going to be smooching off of your entitlements.
We don't. We are going to see a collapse of many industries.
Let them fucking die then. If your industry is not capable of adapting to new workforce requirements, if it's not capable of automating itself, then I guess the industry dies. Your point is that they do this to try to make the line go up, but the line doesn't have to go up. That is also true. The line, in fact, doesn't have to go up. The only line that matters is your per capita GDP, not your net GDP. Your total GDP is actually a pretty irrelevant number, all things considered.
Japanese society needs to be retrained, has to have the way they think changed.
Really, you, a fucking foreigner, are going to waltz into Japan and you're going to tell the Japanese that they need to be retrained in the same longhouse that cut your balls off. You absolutely despicable, reprehensible cuck.
In that when they see people from different countries, that they don't just like, oh, freeze and like, oh my God, you know. We have to train people why.
They didn't freeze. That was never a thing that happened, you disingenuous fuckwit. That was not a thing. The Japanese do not have a flight or flight response to foreigners by default. They react to your capability of fitting into the social norms.
Why they are here, we explain to them that these people are necessary. Try to.
They are not. That's the thing. They are actually not necessary whatsoever. Maybe in the distant past when they first saw white guys or an African, like, yeah, in the 1800s, I can see that. In the late 2000s, it was very much not like that already. As recently as 2015, all of the Japanese that I interact with, all they care is that you fit into social norms. As long as you fulfill your part of the social convention, nobody bats an eye.
Include them in our society. Canada, for example, 20% of all of the people who are Canadian citizens were not born in Canada. How is...
Oh yeah? How's T. Hortons doing? How's the Canadian GDP doing? Are we really going to look at Canada of all places and say, "Oh, that's such a great idea, eh? Let's do that everywhere, eh?" Fuck. Never mind deporting Indians to India. Deport this motherfucker to Canada and force him to live there. Didn't Japan almost collapse when their previous prime minister imported a bunch of aliens to their country to fix their job economy? They didn't have a chance to do that, not Linkara. The lower chamber election was sort of a harsh signal that there is now a very strong pro-nativist idea, pro-nativist sentiment in the population with Sanseito getting such a big win. So the LDP have now pivoted into also being pro-nativist to keep their ruling majority, and that's why Takaichi is now head of the party. Hopefully, it's not performative. Hopefully, shit will actually get done. Most Canadians are French? Are they? Are they, though? Even when they first met white people in the 1500s, from the records they have, they didn't see them as something crazy. No, yeah, that's the thing, no, Terry. I think that doesn't quite track. They may be spiritually French. So there's a possibility that most Canadians are just Americans that didn't have balls or testosterone. Disavow. I disagree. I know at least 2 good Canadians. Yeah, that's probably it, just 2. I'm trying to think of more. And I am unfortunately drawing a blank.
Is this possible? It's because the Canadian mindset is that when people come, so when will you get citizenship? And in Japan...
Yeah, because Canada isn't actually 3,000 years old.
Like, especially in the 90s when I came, it was like, where are you from? What do you do? When will you leave?
Good. Leave.
Implication is that we'll put up with you for a few years, but eventually move on.
Based Japan? Hello? Base department?
That has to change.
Having said that,
No, it actually doesn't have to change. Japan is distinctly for the Japanese and no one the fuck else.
To give you the other side perspective, some of the politicians I talked to are quite against immigration and sound alarm, referring to a message of Charlie Kirk, who has been more and more popular in Japan recently.
That's, I have to say, Charlie Kirk's last name gets a very unfortunate. Charlie Kirk's last name sounds very unfortunate with Japanese phonetics. I know he's not doing that on purpose, but let's not do that. Let's just not. Just let's stop at Charlie. Okay, let's leave it there. I know the American phonetics are difficult for East Asians. That's fine. It's no harm, no foul. Fossil honestly believes that importing aliens is not only good for society, but also culturally enriching. He's why Japan used to behead anyone who washed up on a fucking boat. I think they should start doing that again. Imagine being elected into local office to just be a disruptive, insidious element. Imagine running for elected office just to be a poisonous fucking viper in the grass. Where is a boomer remover when you need it? Yeah.
So a very simple question that I would ask here in Japan.
Cough, mayor in NYC, yeah.
That I mentioned in my speech. Do you want school children in Japan to learn Japanese? The language. Of course you do, right? But not Arabic. And we laugh, but you know what? People in London would have laughed 40 years ago in an event just like this. The problem is that Tokyo is so nice.
So I basically just described American politics. No, because American politics are, first of all, not really a monolith, and we suffer from a different problem. Our primary malady is an entrenched political class who serves themselves above everyone else. The Canadian expat over there, he is very much, his masters is the globo homo. He probably is just a true believer. He does not understand the evils of this system because he's not broken the conditioning. We also had a local election in the U.S. recently that was decided by Somali tribal politics. Was that in Minnesota where a Somalian was running? And I think he didn't win that election.
And that Japan is so great that you're almost in a place where it's very easy to be apathetic. Oh, this will never happen here. Remember they said the sun would never set on the British Empire. It wasn't war that took down the British Empire. It was mass immigration. So you must enter with a sense of cautiousness that this can have a very serious impact on what people care about.
3.9 million as workers flood in. Holy shit, that's 3 millions too many. Deport every one of them.
今まで単一文化、ほぼ単一文化でやってきた我々日本人にとって、そう簡単に異文化と仲良くやっていけるかって、そんなに単純かということなんですね。外国人人材に頼ろうとするから、依存しようとするから、川口市なんかではもうどこの国だかよくわかんないような状況になっている。23区内でもありますよね。日本という国を壊してしまおうという。ミサイル撃ち込んできたりね。これは目に見える危機で、国民も、これはまずいぞと。やっぱり非常に立ちが悪いのは、目に見えない内なる侵略と私は言ってるんですけれども、すごく大きな問題だと思います。
This man gets it.
そこがね。入り口であるルールをちゃんと厳格するということをやるのが先だと思います。
なんですかな、日本ってまあ島国だから、日本人しかいない島国なんで、単一民族。例えば日本の文化、カルチャー、日本語なんてわかるわけないじゃないですか。こういうことはしちゃいけませんよって、ルール違反とか。
Yes, exactly. Japan has evolved and has been constructed on a foundation of being a monolithic culture. No ins, ands, or buts. That's it. They are supposed to be a monolithic culture, and they function as a country exclusively while they are a cultural and racial monolith. Sorry, it does not work like that. That's what the UK used to be. Yeah, pretty much. Well, again, depends on what point in the UK's history we're also looking at. Like, the UK functioned fairly well when the mother country was monolithic and monocultural, but it also had subservient satellites in the form of colonies. Hoping the Japanese new prime minister will do something about their illegal aliens. I would like her to do something about the legal ones. That's the thing that a lot of people are missing, not Linkara. The illegals are sort of front of mind, for example, here in the US, just because we've had an open border. They're also front of mind, for example, in the UK, just because it is very brazen how they just cross over from France on small boats. And that's like a very convenient focal point. But the illegals are only a part of the problem. Legal migration should also be severely limited. Legal migration should only permit like the top 1% of any aspirational migration. And it must keep it so low that that population inevitably cannot dilute the host population. Migrants should, even legal immigrants, should never be in noticeable numbers. I should not even know that there are Indians in Austin, yet I am somehow forced to be aware of that fact. Like, unless you go looking, you don't know that there are Russians in Austin. You don't know that there are Koreans or for example, like we have a sizable population of Japanese in Austin as well. You would not know that unless you proactively go looking for little islets of their activity. The Indians, on the other hand, are fucking everywhere.
So what about regular residents? Though most of them I talk to in my city say that foreigners are necessary and important assets.
Oh yeah? Are they also foreign residents? Is it possible that they may be biased?
Are still quite concerned or conflicted.
実際のところ確かにもう工事現場とか農業とかすでにもうやっぱ移民の方の労働力なくして成り立ってないかなっていうような現状。
No, all they have to do is just offer better pay, and I trust you. Yeah, exactly. False. All you have to do. Look at this mid bitch. No Terry. We attack ideas, and then when we want to be extra venomous, we go after looks, okay?
がある中で、そこで何かこう住民同士の交流とかがこう機能しないというか、結局そのなんか知らない外国人たちが働いてくれてるって終わってしまうと、今もそうだと思うんですけど、すぐそういうヘイトの問題が出てきて、なんかこうスケープゴート。
English words, busted. She has the talking points. Fuck her, this is not an original thought. Someone has told her the things she thinks and yeah, busted. Lone word user. Give your locals more money than they actually care about. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Well, first of all, let the labor market self-regulate. If work is worth a certain amount of money, there will be a cohort in your society willing to do that work. It's actually pretty normal for example, university students who want to make extra money to go and work at a construction site.
みたいに例えば経済状況が悪くなったりとか、そういうことで移民が犯罪者なんだとかっていうような噂が広まったりとか、 交流のないままに受け入れていくと、よりその
Doesn't matter if you interact with them or not. All you have to do is correctly observe reality.
アグレッシブな形での差別とかが起こるんじゃないかなっていうところで、そこがちょっとそうですね。私の中でもちょっとどうすればいいんだろう。
In Japan right now, there's actually a division.
You're not Japanese. Why the fuck are you commenting on this?
Between like the communities of, I don't know, people from other countries and Japanese people. Like
there should not be communities of people from other countries. Full stop.
It's divided. It's separated.
Is Japan trying to be a socialist state? Japan was, I'm going to say, always I wouldn't say redistributive, but it had a lot of very elaborate social support structures. We need to understand that Japan historically has been collectivist as a function of just their agriculture. It was a necessary social adaptation for their survival. But the mechanisms they are socialist in the same way as, for example, the Nordic countries used to be pre-invasion. They would have high trust. Yeah, okay, let me put it like that. They're socialist in the same way that Switzerland is socialist. Your taxes are relatively high, higher than I would like them. And your government sets up all of these sort of social safety nets to make sure that while everyone is participating in society in good faith, there are sort of barriers and support structures to make sure that people don't fall into destitutions and they have social services up to a certain standard. That only works for small, tight-knit, homogeneous, monocultural societies. And Japan was that for its entire history. And unfortunately, chancellors are now finding out about that, and they are attempting to abuse that system. And because of that, it's becoming less sustainable because you just have people openly parasitizing on that. Actually, the same is happening in the UK. The same is happening across Europe. To a very large extent, that is happening in the US as well.
Pretty much anywhere else in the world, after living there for enough years, you'll kind of like fit in. Like you'll feel like you belong there. But I know that even if I live in Japan for the rest of my life, I know I'm never gonna become Japanese.
Yes, good. That's again, if a cat lives in a barn for long enough, it's not gonna become a horse.
My dorm, there are some Japanese residents, and I try to speak to them in Japanese. If I would engage in conversation with Japanese people in Japanese, they would reply to me in English. I don't know if...
Yeah, that's because your Japanese is bad. They only do that when you obviously don't speak good Japanese. Ogre spotted. Yeah, a little bit. California blowing millions on giving healthcare to immigrants. Yep.
Assimilation, it's really possible.
Maybe they think that I don't understand what they're gonna say in Japanese, so they switch to English. But I'm here for learning the language. If I don't get exposed to that kind of dialogue, I will not improve.
I am sorry, Norwegian man, but you came in too late.
It's a very hard language to learn for foreigners.
Based on what I hear personally in my neighborhood, seems like there's not enough chance to.
I would say trying to learn a language just out in the wild in Japan is a little bit, definitely not from the ground up. I would say like N3 and up, it's doable. You definitely have to do that outside of Tokyo because Tokyo is still more of a cosmopolitan city. Tokyo and Osaka are very poorly suited for that because there's a higher density of people who actually just speak English. And they're going to try to meet you halfway if you are a foreigner. And if you are only starting to learn the language, you are going to be a nuisance and a burden if you try to sort of bucket we ball, learn Japanese on the fly. If you really want exposure, you need to go into the more rural areas where you will be forced into an environment of just total English language exclusion because the people there just don't speak English and they will just speak Japanese at you until you understand. all Asian languages are very, very hard to learn coming from Western languages. I kind of disagree with that, friendly anarchist. I actually hard disagree. The phonetics of Japanese aren't actually very difficult, especially if you have at least a couple of languages under your belt. As long as you can roll your R's and understand what diphthongs are, you're pretty okay. Isn't Korean script supposed to be extremely intuitive? The modern Hangul writing system is a severely simplified version of written Chinese. I'm not sure how intuitive it is. I think it's actually phonetic at this point. Like don't quote me on that because I've never bothered learning it because why? Japanese is primarily difficult as a function of them having a layered contextual language, meaning that your grammar and your vocabulary is supposed to change depending on the social situation and the counterparts that you interact with. Other than that, the grammar is piss easy, and your only real hurdle is vocabulary and kanji in particular, the ideographic writing system, because they also have a phonetic writing system that is also fairly easy to learn.
To speak and improve the language gradually, which make it hard for them to integrate into a Japanese community.
Okay, sure, but the Japanese community is not a language school that exists for the purpose of letting Westerners learn the language.
You could surely...
I've managed to get myself to near fluency just by being in Japan for 1 month per year at a time, improving my language in between trips to better function there.
Practice before coming here. It might be quite difficult depending on your country.
Japanese language it's only spoken here in Japan, of course. In America, I think it's not even available to learn at most schools. It's not a commonly learned language.
There are plenty of tutors. I can go online and find a tutor who can take me to like a B2 level. The business language, I think, is like a C grade. I forget if it's C or B, but I think it's a C2 level Japanese tutor is available to me right now. I can just find a guy and he will tutor me in like professional business level Japanese. That is cope. That is significant cope. Anime is free. Effectively. You need to get a Japanese tutor? Go ahead. Listen, again, they are a dime a dozen. I've only studied with a tutor for, I'm going to say, a year, back when I've just only started learning Japanese. So I got my fundamentals from a tutor, and I was very lucky because he was not just a Japanese native speaker, but he was also a very professional linguist and philologist. So like he has instilled a very good foundation in my Japanese. But after that year, after I got like the very, very raw basics, I was mostly self-taught. I've had opportunities to get like over the painful first steps of speaking and actually verbalizing my ideas. But then again, I had a Japanese friend while I was living in London, and she would humor my attempts at expressing my thoughts and verbalizing my thoughts in Japanese. You can do the same over the internet as well. Like if you find a tutor, you can just force yourself to verbalize in Japanese. That is a hurdle that you just have to step over eventually. And then you just saturate your active attention span with the Japanese language. Fortunately, anime is pretty easy to find. Manga is very easy to find. There's really no shortage because Japan is such a cultural because Japan has such a gigantic cultural capital, there is a breadth of media on every subject out there that you can freely consume in Japanese. And you have so many crutches, at not the least in the form of Google Translate in your phone. So whenever you stumble upon something that would normally prevent you from understanding said information, you can just easily use those digital tools to facilitate your learning further. And then just through sheer saturation, you can build up a very significant amount of good, solid spoken and written Japanese. Like, I have achieved near fluency. Like, I've significantly improved my Japanese during COVID when I was not able to go. Like, the difference between my spoken Japanese in 2018, which one was like the last time I went pre-COVID, in 2023 is night and day. Because as I was speaking to people, I've realized that I'm just using everyday vocabulary that I didn't know I knew, that I've just acquired as a passive fund of words that is available to me sheerly through saturation by watching Japanese VTubers, by watching anime, by consuming news podcasts in Japanese. You have a lot of people that still believe Japanese is a draconic language that only the top 1% of people know, which is very false. I mean, yes and no. What do you mean top 1%? You're just a shitty weeb, and even you're in a place where you're starting to hear localizer slop more and more. He's starting to notice chat. Oh no, I am noticing.
So it's very challenging.
Many of them even make an effort to go to a school and pay for a proper Japanese lesson. But for example, in my field of work, I don't have to speak Japanese because I work in an international environment. I'm not allowed to speak Japanese to my students.
There needs to be like more meeting spots and I think event or something where everyone can come together.
I'm also the problem in a way that I'm shy. If I can't speak properly Japanese, I just don't speak because I'm a perfectionist. So it's also, I'm part of the problem. I totally get.
He's shy. I have some very, very scathing personal comments to make here. The noticing will continue until morale improves. I don't think noticing helps morale, anarchist. Just normies you've talked to, that's a part you noticed with people that have no idea what Japan is truly. The problem about normies is that they are normies because they are unimpressive people. And they don't understand that applying effort to something actually nets you results over time. There's this certain critical mass of effort that, when applied to a given skill or pursuit, will take you way above average. And usually the normie is not willing to do that. All they want to do is just sit there and drool with their absence of an internal dialogue.
Get why there's a concern over immigration, and I completely get young people now starting to see this a problem.
I don't think it's as big of a problem as people might think. Immigrants that come into Japan actually do a pretty good job of adjusting to that culture of conformity. I personally haven't had any issues.
やっぱり郷に行ったら郷に従いみたいなのは日本人だから大切にしたいと思うので、これはちょっと日本のルールを破っているというか、法にはないけどみんなが守っているような倫理観的な部分を破っている方はたまにいるなと思いますけど、私的には日本の文化に従っていただければ別に何も思わないですけどね。
日本の文化に合わせてあんまり言い過ぎないようにしようとか、日本はこうだからって言って日本に住んでる外国人の方結構私の周りにもいるので、日本の文化やっぱり素敵だなって思うし、その日本の文化が好きで日本に来てる方って結構いると思うんですよ。なんかやっぱ
That's great. You can come appreciate the culture and then leave.
マナーの悪さとかテレビで取り上げられてしまうと、日本人ファーストとか真面目にね働いている方にとってみればすごく迷惑な話だろうなと思います。
I believe
That is a sacrifice that I am willing to make.
Japan should not be worrying about it because you people are so deep rooted. I don't think anybody who comes here would change the
Please, sir, please do not be concerned with it. We are trying to replace your workforce, sir.
culture here.
I'm gonna get fucking banned.
I guess anybody who comes here will adopt something good and take along. This is what we need to do.
Take it with you back to India.
Do in Rome as the Romans do.
Do you think many foreign residents can adapting to well?
I don't think so because the ones who come for a shorter span, they don't. Because in trains we see people shouting and screaming when they see the bay and the boats, and if you don't have to stay long at a place, you don't bother about learning much.
Personally, I really appreciate that I can leave my iPad on the table and go to the washroom or my phone or whatever,
Well, really? And why is that? Why is that, Canada man? What socioeconomic factors contribute to the fact that you're not concerned about petty theft in a mono-ethnic, monocultural, high-trust society? You functional fucking retard.
Even money, like cash. Who would want that culture to change? Isn't that the dream culture? Isn't that the way everyone would like their own culture to be?
Yes, very much so. That's why I want these people to stay the fuck out of Japan.
I get it that there are always going to be people who come from, say, a criminal background and they're...
Yeah, that criminal background, not Japan. That's it. You would pay actual money to hear someone just say Curse Vishnu in front of that woman? The funniest thing is to make the Indian scammer say that. This fossil voted for cultural enrichment so we could stay there. Be culturally enriched. God, you hate Canadians. He voted for all of the shit. Like, I guarantee that he votes lib in Canada. That he voted liberal in Canada. He voted for both Trudeaus. I shit you not. And then he left. He shat up Canada, and then he left Canada to go and shit up a bitter country. They're always going to be bad people, so should we ignore them?
They have already lost any semblance of morality. For them, like, Japan is just such a easy target. But these type of people don't tend to stay. They don't like it here. Culture around has far more influence on the individual.
The Kurds seem to also not be big fans of Japan. The Muslims in Osaka also don't seem to be big fans of Japan. That's why they want to change Japan to suit their sensibilities.
Than any individual has on this society. In the end, people who come to live in Japan become more Japanese. Japan...
Yeah, they become more Japanese, but they never become Japanese. You are not Japanese.
Does not become more foreign. That's not the way it...
No, Japan does also get diluted once enough of them start coming in, and enough is just about 3%.
works. Just does not work that way.
To give you example on that, if you are female, you might gonna find yourself giggling differently after living here, let's say 5 years or more. Actually, I see many foreign women giggling like that.
Yes, that's called picking up mannerisms. We, as a species, are blessed with a pretty large fund of mirror neurons, meaning that we will socially conform to behaviors that we observe around us as being normative. That's why, for example, whenever I go to Japan, I will have a reflexive habit of bowing, for example, in a lot of social situations that will take about a month to sort of get cleared out of my system. Anyone who can look at a pre-Islamic culture of Indonesia and not see what Islam has done to it would never think more Muslims should be fucking anywhere. Yeah, listen, I didn't even have to go to be... I don't even need to be that specific to know that Muslims should stay in Muslim countries and be present nowhere the fuck else. I've said this on Twitter multiple times, and I will say this once again for the record. One mosque is one mosque too many.
culture influences people a lot. Having said that, he also points out Japan really doesn't want this. Unfortunately, that's exactly what's happening to Kurdish community in Kawaguchi and Chinese community in Nishinari, to name a few.
We don't want to create ghettos. We don't want to have like villages or towns where there is a huge majority and they control everything and then they are taking over the society.
Oh yeah, it's almost as if these groups of immigrants that you are pro-importing do that constantly. It's almost as if that is their standard MO, to accumulate critical mass to enable them to take over an area and then gradually erode everything around them. Birmingham isn't an exception. Birmingham is the rule. How much do I want to bet the newer generation of Japanese kids are going to turn out incredibly racist and based? I think a lot of normal, sort of everyday Japanese people are xenophobic in a very good and productive way. I think that the rot of leftism is actually not succeeding in getting a lot of ground. The Japanese were not beaten down with white guilt through a lot of their history, so the commie gobbledygook is having real trouble settling in.
And saying, this is not Japan. And then they bring all of the problems from the home country with them. We don't want that. Like, my advice would be, try to get a few from here and a few from there. Try and mix it up a little bit.
1% of immigrants. That's how many foreign-born residents a country should have. No more.
You know, fear of growing, how can you say, the fear that Japan could become more riskier. It's going to become more dangerous and dangerous if more foreigners come to Japan. But
oh, really? Why would they come to that conclusion? It's almost as if they've just observed reality where that is a thing. Turns out, when you import people from low-trust societies into your high-trust society, they are going to make your society inherently less safe. Do I need to pull up the news articles about Indian men trying to rape schoolgirls?
a way for Japanese people to open to the world, open with the unknown, let's say, let's put it this way.
You should have as high a rape rate by foreigners as ours in Sweden. It makes us morally superior that we let the boat migrants rape our women.
Immigration could be really useful for Japanese society, in my opinion.
You are not a real country until you have at least one grenade attack per day.
I think there's not much that I can personally say to mitigate
Canadian.
people's fears. But what I can say to people who are coming to Japan is respect the culture, and that will calm people's fears. I've heard the anti-foreign sentiment since COVID, because I was here during COVID. I've had people walk up to me and say, go home.
Good. Why are you still there? The people told you that they don't want you there.
And I'm going, this is home. I have made...
No, it's not. You're Canadian. This is not your home. Lady, you can cope and seethe about that all you want. You are a white, pasty Canadian woman from fucking Ontario.
made Japan my home, with people doing...
You have not. No. Again, you are not Japanese. You will never be Japanese.
Japan first. I understand why. I understand you want your government to take care of you. You don't want your...
Look at that, Chad.
Japan
Look at
first.
that.
I understand why.
Let's just apply the physiognomy check real quick. Sohei, first of all, proper working class warrior name. Sohei. Second of all, look at that chin. Look at that neck that just goes like that's a pillar. That man has no neck. He just the shoulders go directly into the skull. Properly man-sized person with a proper build. The physiognomy test is passed with flying colors, I would say.
understand you want your government to take care of you. You don't want your government to take care of other people who are coming here. I get it. I totally understand. What they're seeing is they're seeing a bunch of tourists come in, nuisance streamers.
Let's apply the physiognomy check here. Need I say more?
Or people come in and
Your Honor, I rest my case.
I even get annoyed at that.
You do not make the choice if another country accepts you. Fat.
fitting into the Japanese society.
Also, yeah, how are you fat in Japan? I'm sorry, how do you manage that?
And respecting the culture is huge. In English, we have the saying, when in Rome, do as Romans do. Go ni ireba, go ni shitagae. You know, I'm in Japan. I can bring all of my Canadian culture, but I don't want
No one wants it here.
to stand out that much. I want
No, you shouldn't stand out at all. And the way you don't stand out at all is by fucking leaving.
like when you're in the train, you be quiet. Conform to that. You can still bring your own culture. You know.
No, you can't. You cannot. Do not bring your own culture to the walled garden of Japan. There is a reason why we refuse to firebomb Kyoto.
A way you insert it so that it's not taking away from what's already there. Because I think Japanese culture is beautiful. I don't want it to be Canada.
When it comes to foreigners' integration, she consistently claims that it's a two-way street, and Japanese people also need to be educated.
No, they don't.
日本の政策で足りないのは、日本人が外の空気をしっかりと学んでくる。こういったことに
Plenty of Japanese people learn what she referred to as the outside air. A lot of business people from Japan go and live in other countries when they work in senior positions in their companies. And then they return back to Japan, understanding what makes Japan better than the places they lived in. You don't want it to be Canada, then why do you insist on bringing Canadian culture? Yeah, exactly.
対する支援っていうのは少ない。行政の方々ってなんかピンときていないのかなと。もっと日本人が外にも出て外で活躍をして。
There are plenty of Japanese people who live outside of Japan. You are no longer under sakoku. You are no longer a self-isolated nation.
でまたそれをまた日本に還元してくれるっていうような仕組みが今できてないんだと思います。受け入れ
You don't need a system for that. You don't think many people actually know what a culture is? Yeah.
ばっかりになってしまっている状況が今生み出されていると思います。
今までは外国人っていう一括りで見てたんですけど、マイノリティとして生きた経験ってことじゃないですか、留学っていうのはやっぱり。結構いい勉強になったかなと思います。カナダといえど自分がいた地域は白人の人が 90% ぐらいを占める地域で
90% white and Canadian? I find that hard to believe.
なんか言葉わからなくて辛い思いをしたので困って助けを求められたら助けようと思うし
I do know that a lot of academic institutes are now
Not Japanese.
Working on, for example, having a scholarship. However, going abroad is definitely one kind of luxury right now.
If foreigners got involved in volunteer stuff in their city, their town, wherever they're living.
It's not their town. It's not their city. They are foreigners.
And build those relationships, I think that would help mitigate a lot of the fears that people have. My Japanese friends have taught me so much about the beauty of Japan. I wouldn't have known half of it had I not been so close with them. Being able to have that.
And you're still not Japanese. You are still foreign. This is not your country. This is not your home. You have to leave. A lot of people think the definition of culture is the liberal college definition, which is not true since it's only used to force people to have white guilt. Why is there a 90% white enclave in Japan? I'm not. No, she was talking about Canada. That was like a place where there was 90% white. Like she went to study abroad, and like 90% of the people there were Canadians.
That little piece of, you belong here and you're part of this.
You don't. That's the thing.
Community, I think, is really, really important. I have never experienced so much love as I have in the Japanese church that I'm in. They accept me. I'm the foreigner.
I mean, Japanese Christians are a bit of an aberration compared to the rest of the populace. They are sort of contrarian standouts. I'm sorry, the religion of Japan is Shinto. And the convert LARPers are just that. They're just LARPers. They are terminal Westaboos.
I'm the one that's on the fringe. They're not yelling Japan first at me. They're going, no, you're welcome.
I understand that the Japanese people in general are afraid. They are worried about their culture changing.
Yeah, they can see what's going on with the rest of the world. They believe their own lying eyes.
I would point out that
the culture changes anyway. I mean, who walks around with swords anymore, or the samurai haircut, or nobody does. So we need to recognize.
I mean, people still walk around with swords on occasion. There are cultural events where people walk around in full plate, not in everyday life. Bro, we can look in England. Terry is about to glow. Such a bullshit line of reasoning. Very true. Very true. Because back when people used to walk around with swords, they were all Japanese. And 10 years ago, they were still all Japanese. And realistically, from a class segregation perspective, not much has changed. That's the beauty about Japan. Most things have actually not changed. Motherfucker is just saying that because he wants them eating poutine and letting Indians fuck their wives? Probably.
That our culture is constantly changing, and we need to see them as adding to the culture.
No, absolutely the fuck not. I don't want Kurds and Indians adding to Japanese culture. The things I appreciate of Japanese culture are that way because it was formed by the Japanese in Japan with absolutely no external input.
It doesn't take away from Japanese culture. It adds to it, in my opinion. They have already come. They are all.
Record number of babies born to foreign parents in Japan. Oh, this is dire.
Already here. So what are we going to do about that?
Just a second, let's run that one again.
He's funny. Okay.
Oh, that was the end? Really? Okay.
Adding to the culture. It doesn't take away from Japanese culture. It adds to it, in my opinion. They have already come. They are already here. So what are we going to do about that?
Just deport them. Simple as. Families can be deported together. We have the technology. If they are already here, yeah, exactly. Remigration now. That is a very easy solution. It's right there. There are still planes that go from Tokyo to Delhi. You just load up, denaturalize any that have any claim to be there, and then remove. Again, Japan is a top-down society. All you have to do is be willing to do that. You can just do things through executive fiat. That's the beauty of it. The Japanese government can just decide that we no longer want you here. You are therefore stripped of your newly acquired Japanese passport. You are stripped of residency, and you have to leave. Just load up a cargo plane full of Kurds and Indians and pop them somewhere in India. They'll figure it out. It's only been going on for 10 years or so. It's only 3% Give them the boot. Not even 10 years, friendly anarchist. That's the thing. This has been going on for, in such an aggressive way. Only in, I'm going to say, since the Olympics, realistically. Only once Japan opened up right after COVID has this been happening. So I'm going to say this has only been happening since 2022. American barbecue is a cultural addition to Korea, and those businesses are ran by native Koreans. They're taught by American pitmasters and use American sauce recipes. You do not fucking need an enclave of 100,000 U.S. expatriates to have cultural additions in Korea. Exactly. We have the recipes. We can deport them. Okay, let's see. Mike Israetel has not been having a good, jolly time on theinternet.com. He's been everyone's favorite punching bag recently. Partially a rod of his own making, but I'm going to be the contrarian and say that a lot of these people are performative, cringe, and gay, and we're going to look into that. You know how to make burritos, start deporting.
Not only is Dr. Mike's PhD potentially fraudulent, his black belt is also potentially very fraudulent.
Oh no, someone is doing a very painful Maya rep.
Say that him and Mr. Moneyberg may be on the same level of black belt expertise in the sport of jiu-jitsu. Watching rolling footage of Dr. Mike, I will give Dr. Mike this. He does actually live roll, and there's actual evidence of him live rolling, so that makes him a step better than Mr. Moneyberg. However, they both look very similar. They both share a common religion. They both share a bulbous...
What religion? Okay. Oh, it's the Jews. Sorry, I forgot that it's always the Jews. The Jews are to blame for everything, including, I guess, jujitsu being bad. I'm so sick of these fucking brainlets. Dr. Mike is an atheist. So what you probably wanted to say is that they're both Ashkenazi Jews.
Wide physique of being a little, chunky. And they're both 5'6" and thinning in the hair. But Mike has let it go. Derek has not. But anywho, a lot of similarities to draw here. A lot of similarities.
Also, my guy, your microphone is dog shit.
But I digress. I think there should be a match between them at the next CJI. Craig Jones, make this happen. Dr. Mike versus Derek Moneyberg. Let's see it. Anywho, let's get in the meat and potatoes of this video, all right? I've done a video breaking down Dr. Mike's rolling when he was a brown belt, but since then, some more footage has been uncovered and some more information on Dr. Mike has been uncovered, okay? For example, Greg Doucette and other high-level bodybuilders have proven that he sucks at bodybuilding.
Basic stuff that you would know, like just amazing stuff.
Didn't know shit, not even the basics. And have we not seen his diet? Cereal and Gatorade?
Cereal and Gatorade was a pre-workout load. What, like several months deep into a cut? If your choice of speaking location mics, your choice of speaking location and mic are any indication you can't cook meat and potatoes.
How did that work out for him?
Okay, that is not my opinion. That is of people who are in that space. I don't know anything about bodybuilding, but apparently cereal...
Greg Doucette is also an infamous drama whore who farms content off of sensationality, and mostly he talks out of his ass pretty much 80% of the time that he is awake. So we can't really take Coach Greg seriously on anything because, for example, he has doubled and tripled down on selling terkesterone supplements, despite terkesterone still not having a strong evidence base in human trials.
Gatorade as a diet is not good. So if you want to see that, go Greg Doucette. Harder than last time, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, not only does he suck at bodybuilding, he also sucks at jiu-jitsu, yet proclaims to be very good and has a black belt and all this nonsense. So let's just get into his BJJ rolling, all right, as a black belt.
Like all I feel is rage.
I'm going to break down Mike's game, all right? It's a classic old man, fat guy game. Little energy expenditure, little jiu-jitsu actually used, just a lot of size and a lot of, I guess you could say, he is a strong guy. A lot of size and a lot of strength.
So what you're saying is Dr. Mike uses his innate advantages to compensate for his shortfalls, being a bodybuilder by his primary training. We're not going to go into the competitive history, but his training is primarily bodybuilding style. Therefore, he carries a lot of excess mass. He's on a lot of steroids. So his endurance is not even a secondary consideration. It is completely exterior. It is completely outside of the scope of his training. And he has to make up for that by the strength and size that he has access to. I would say that that's generally how you build your plan in any combative sport.
No technique, no athletic ability, just an old man's game / fat man's game, all right? So the first thing he does is he does the spread eagle on top, all right? He wants to be on top so he can just lay on you and wrap his hands around you, all right? There's no real passing pressure, no really passing attempts. His two passes are grab you by the waist and lay on you until you do something stupid.
Yeah, he compresses your diaphragm, forcing you to be uncomfortable and then forcing you to move.
Or let you get a triangle, and it's hard to triangle him because he's a literal square, and throw the legs over and try to pass you that way. So
I mean, again, as a game plan, yeah, simple as best. It just works. Are we going to start criticizing chess players because they usually operate on an understood sequence of the highest success rate openers?
So that's his passing techniques. Spread eagle on you and let you throw up a triangle and pass it. His bottom technique is what I like to call the shitty deep half, all right? If you've ever rolled with an older gentleman or a gentleman that is oversized or just really not in tune with the modern game of jiu-jitsu or is lazy.
The modern game of jiu-jitsu is very, very violently uninteresting.
They'll play what is called a deep half, all right? I only go to deep half when I have nothing else to go to. I really don't want to be there because it is a bad place to be, all right? Especially in no-gi, all right? Maybe there's some more things you could do with lapels and stuff in gi, but I don't know. This is purely from a no-gi context.
So you don't even participate in like 2/3 of your sport, which is like full on gi jiu-jitsu, and you're out here throwing shade? This kid is not a good rep for jiu-jitsu. I mean, I can tell because he's a YouTuber.
Deep half sucks, all right? Guys can spin around your head and get you into 411 or inside Senkaku, saddle, whatever you want to call it, and now you're in a deep leg lock position, all right? That is not where you want to be in no-gi, all right? When your heel is exposed and it's going to get cranked on. Another thing you could do is a guy could get a freaking underhook on that arm that is just chicken winged up, all right? The only thing you could do is grip your hands to keep from like not getting your arm ripped off. And they could go to either a Kimura or fly around to the other side for an armbar, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're Dr. Mike's size and strength, that's less of a concern because if someone attempts to do that, they give you an opening to roll over and throw them off. It's a video about criticizing jiu-jitsu technique or Dr. Mike. You can't fucking... It's about dogpiling on Dr. Mike because someone built a very in-depth, very, very elaborate, and I would say female and pedantic critique of his PhD thesis, which, don't get me wrong, the thesis itself is not great. It's basically every shitty academic paper that just barely scrapes by. It doesn't really move the field. Like it's the most PhD paper of all time. I would say the key concern here is why does the ivory tower, why does academia have such a low standard for issuing degrees? Dr. Mike satisfied the requirements for that. He got his PhD. Take it up with the cathedral. Not with him. He got his PhD. Reform the cathedral, rescind the PhD if you have an issue with it. Don't make female-coded bitchy takedown videos. Because at the end of the day, you are all still literal who's nipping at the heels of someone who makes more money by simply existing than you will ever see in your life. Cope, seethe, and dilate. And with regards to his BJJ, first of all, there's very little footage of like the actual training that he does. Second of all, and a lot of BJJ bros fail to understand that just because a lot of BJJ bros don't really understand what structured martial arts are because most of them are just glorified freestyle wrestlers. But belts are an indication of your understanding of a given curriculum. A belt doesn't mean, a black belt in particular, doesn't mean that you have attained enlightenment, that you have imparted in the sacrament of drinking the Gracie sweat. It simply means that you understand a certain set of curriculum, that you can demonstrate it confidently, and that you have put in a certain amount of time on the mats. That is all. That is all a belt is. Sometimes there are going to be federation or organization specific requirements. Like, for example, I technically conform to the requirements of a 4th degree black belt in Iaido because I know the entirety of the Musoji Kidene Shinryu curriculum that is required up to that point, which is Shoden, Shuden, Okuden, Tachiuchi no Kurai, and I have a pretty solid handle on sort of the secret part of the curriculum. And I have trained people to the level of first Dan. I have brought up students who are now black belts. So I therefore formally have met the requirements for a 4th degree black belt in combination with my Tameshigiri skill. That is it. That is the requirement. That is all that means. It means that I can instruct people up to a certain level and I have an understanding of the curriculum up to a certain level. Same with judo, same with karate. The belts mean that you understand a slice of curriculum. For judo, which is the black belt that I'm currently training for, I need to know the daigokyo, which is the primary 5 sets of techniques. I need to know the shinmeisho, which is historical techniques, and I need to know, I believe, katame no kata, which is a kata of holds. I need to know my standard chokes. And I think I also need nage no kata, which is a kata of throws. That's curriculum. That's it. Even if I am bad, quote unquote, at actual stand-up wrestling, I still qualify for the black belt as long as I actually know the curriculum. Granted, in the process of learning the curriculum, I will still have some kind of baseline level of skill that will allow me to navigate like a randori session. And since I come from a background of old style jiu-jitsu, I will generally do okay in a sparring session. Just because I have like other combatives in my repertoire. I'm generally used to sparring and I have fun sparring, but even if I weren't that, I would still qualify for the black belt and the black belt would still be legal. A black belt is an indication of you knowing curriculum and understanding it, not of your overall combative skill that you are trying to measure by looking at clips that made it onto social media. If you want to measure if Dr. Mike Israetel's black belt is legitimate, go and fucking roll with him.
What have you. Unless the guy has no idea about jiu-jitsu or is very unflexible, the deep half guard works on those guys, all right? It works on your day one jiu-jitsu guys. It works on guys that have 0 hip mobility. But people that have hip mobility, somewhat athletic, and know a little bit of jiu-jitsu, there are a ton of ways to counter that, and it is hard to sweep somebody from there. I guess the best way is to just, swing yourself up and wrestle up, but that takes way too much energy for Dr. Mike to do, okay? That would require actually having maybe a stand-up game or expending energy or being able to get from your back to your feet in one smooth motion, which he cannot do, okay? As you can see, he's rolling with Nicky Ryan there, and each time he's in on a single leg, he just stays on his knees, all right? If anybody has been taught you any type of wrestling, any wrestling coach will say, do not stay on your knees on a shot, okay? That's a good way to get sprawled and go behind, all right?
Or if you're strong enough, you can go into a fireman's carry. Because drop kataguruma is a legitimate technique. I do kataguruma off my knees, which is technically a leg pick.
But Dr. Mike just stays there, all right? I don't know who gets a black belt and doesn't know basic wrestling to just,
Wrestling has nothing to do with a BJJ black belt because wrestling is not part of that curriculum.
Stand up with the single leg, all right? If your black belt instructor says you can just stay on both knees on a single leg and just sit there, that is not good wrestling. They may know other jiu-jitsu, but they do not know wrestling, okay? That is terrible, terrible, terrible advice, all right?
Yeah, wrestling is not part of the curriculum, though.
Jiu-jitsu, you definitely don't want to stay down there because then you're going to get guillotined and headlock choked and then your back taken and a whole bunch of crap, all right? So, yeah, that is another part of his game, the shitty half guard. Next up, we got the third old man / fat guy technique, the turtle, all right? Old men and fat people love to just turtle because, A,
You mean like all of judo when things go to the ground and you don't have an advantageous position and people just turtle? Because guess what? BJJ is a sport, a severely gamified sport. If you're going to gamify a sport, people are going to go for the meta solution. If I'm strong enough to just turtle and not let you do shit, I'm just going to do that because that's the purpose. That's how we exercise inside of the sport.
Technically, your guard hasn't been passed. B, it's hard to do anything when a guy who's kind of strong.
He's also not really turtling here yet.
Balls up, all right? It's hard to open him up. It's hard to get a choke on a guy that size who has a rotund neck that is thicker than your thigh, all right? And B...
Oh no, it almost sounds like your jiu-jitsu is just not good enough to deal with large leverages and big muscle mass.
Like, it's hard to get hooks in when every square inch is covered up by either muscle mass, fat, or, you know, what have you, all right?
Sounds like a skill issue.
It is hard to do anything when a guy just shells up. I call it the armadillo guard. There's turtle and then there's armadillo. Most people can't do that because they're not strong. You can open them up and you can choke them. But fat guys can sit there because it's hard to do anything to them because they can just sit there, all right?
Skill issue.
I don't call that jiu-jitsu, all right? I guess you're not getting submitted. I guess you're not getting sweeped. But a guy could literally just stand up and start kicking you, I guess. Like,
can you start kicking in jiu-jitsu? Listen, this is my problem with hard guard. Like, I don't like dealing with hard guard. I would rather just knee you in the side. But the purpose of the sport that we're trying to look at is BJJ. The sport of BJJ allows you to pretty aggressively turtle. Are we now assessing overall fighting qualifications? Because that's not part of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt quals. I'm pretty sure if we go just for a wider lens of fighting, I can shit all over you because I can tell from the shape of your hands, you probably don't do a lot of striking.
Like, that is not... Plus, that is, like, terrible to roll. A guy who just, all right, I'm not going to let you pass my guard or do anything. I'm just going to ball up. Like, that is not fun jiu-jitsu. But yeah, so yeah, that is the third aspect of his game, the armadillo guard / the freaking impenetrable.
This sounds like someone bitching about how hard Dark Souls is. No, this is someone bitching about someone who's playing Dark Souls incorrectly. Like, this is you're not a real gamer tier critique.
Turtle guard. Lastly, you know, another video has resurfaced of Jesse James West, where they do a bodybuilders versus cops little thing, all right? Cute little competition. And one of the competitions is a freaking jiu-jitsu competition, all right?
Wasn't technically a jiu-jitsu competition, was more of a freestyle roll, and it was a YouTube video made for farming clicks. Like, it was by no means a demonstration of anything. It was Dr. Mike, while in the middle of an entirely different prep cycle, for some reason wrestling in a full gi against people who are no gi. And you'd understand why that is generally an issue, because the gi is a tool that prevents you, the wearer of the gi, from being hurt by the person applying techniques and to give you advantageous leverages to do that. That's why you sort of need to balance that out. You can do the no-gi stuff, rather you can do a lot of the gi techniques with no gi, you will just hurt the other person. That's why sort of the lapel is the lapel and sleeves are there to prevent you from doing that while also having access to those advantageous grip points. Dr. Mike is definitely, like, just because of how he is socially, because he's a functioning member of society, he's not going to try to hurt people in a non-committal sporting environment. But then he is also deprived of having access to, like, lapel, collar, and sleeve grips because the other guy doesn't have a sturdy gi on.
I'm hoping the cop he went against trains for Dr. Mike's sake. I hope he trains. Because this guy just puts a clinic on Dr. Mike, okay? You call yourself a black belt. I hope this guy was a black belt because he just did whatever he wanted with Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike, I think I remember watching that video. Dr. Mike, again, I disagree with him doing that, but Dr. Mike sandbagged that entire interaction pretty hard.
I mean, it could be...
Same way as he, by the way, did with the guys from GBRS group. I don't know why he does that. Maybe he just enjoys his humiliation kink that much, and he gets off on doing that. But for some reason, when he's like doing that for YouTube, when he's engaging in this shit, maybe he thinks it's cool because he's hiding his true power level, and he's like staying humble. Looks cringe. I disagree with doing that. Like, if you're there to present your expertise, please actually present your expertise. But he just does that for some reason.
A joke. Dr. Mike might be, doing some tomfoolery. Might have just given the guy, a freaking tap, an easy tap, because it's a freaking YouTube video and it'd get a lot of clicks and what have you. But by God, have some self-respect, Doctor.
You know what? Actually,
a lot of clicks and what have you.
That's a pretty solid grip he's got going there. Now, that is the correct way of gripping a gi. So this is definitely by no means an amateur. He's going for a triangle. He has the triangle pretty shallow because, again, Dr. Mike is pretty large. But he is trying to work up that arm in order to rotate him into an advantageous position. Bench talk, Dr. Dweeb doesn't get to lecture this man on self-respect. Oof.
But by God, have some self-respect, Doctor. He literally laid flat on his back and did nothing, just clinched up. That is not displaying the art to somebody who maybe doesn't do the art. It'd be like, well, this jiu-jitsu shit sucks because it's...
Well, jiu-jitsu does suck, and I say that as someone who's had the privilege of being in pretty advanced BJJ seminars. I'm sorry, Brazilian jiu-jitsu is... an over-gamified flowchart for rape. Especially no-gi. The gi stuff is a little bit more interesting. The no-gi shit just looks off-putting. It's also a lot of compressive pressure on your lower back. It's very, very injury-prone. Like, it is such an underdeveloped discipline. And I can't help but cringe every time someone tells me that, oh, BJJ is like a combative sport for like 10,000 IQ geniuses. Like, okay, guy, like, whatever floats your boat, man.
This guy's a black belt, and I just did whatever I wanted to. And he gets a tap at the end, dude. I'm like, come on. I mean, there's other host of things I could critique, like his lack of being able to get concave and rounded. He just lies flat on his back.
Let me play that back again real quick.
Shit sucks because this guy's a black belt, and I just did whatever I wanted to. And he gets a tap.
So he just sits there and he lets the guy triangle him, because we've just previously discussed that it's very hard to triangle Dr. Mike. If he doesn't want you to get that triangle, you're not going to get it. I say that as someone who frequently just, muscle fucks out of someone's triangle attempt. Like, whenever people try to do something cute, like a flying armbar or drag me into guard, I will just put them into air jail to prove that BJJ is not real.
Tap at the end, dude. I'm like, come on. I mean, there's other host of things I could critique, like his lack of being able to get concave and rounded. He just lies flat on his back. In the other video, I covered it, but oh my gosh, these guard pulls are absolutely pathetic. They are absolutely terrible. Yeah, and just his only submission I've ever seen him hit is a neck crank. Okay, that is a giant dick move, zero technique. You'd think a black belt would be able to hit, some type of choke, some type of joint lock. But no, I'm just going to neck crank this guy, all right? Against a guy his size, his weight, never trained. It took him 3.5 minutes to get a submission on. And it was a competition. They did like some type of calorie competition where...
No, they did a YouTube video for clicks, and they needed footage to pad out the video up to 10 minutes.
If I submit you in a minute, I eat 1,000, you eat 5,000, and then if I submit you in 3 minutes, I eat 3,000, you eat 3,000. Anyway, a competition. I'm submitting that guy as fast as I can, okay? And he's untrained, all right?
Yes, if you're trying to submit someone as fast as you can in a BJJ rule set, you also run the risk of injuring him, and they are both mid-prep bodybuilders. And exposing each other to injury is a very big no-no amongst bodybuilders, because you will just negate 9 months of work that someone has just done.
Right? He's like athletic dude. He's untrained, dude. And you're a brown belt in this video. How are you not mauling this guy so you don't have to eat so many calories? Do you want to eat that many calories? Baffles my mind. Baffles my mind that this man is a black belt. To add on to the list of things, he's potentially fraudulent. All right. I don't know if you guys have seen the video. The guy dismantling his PhD thesis. And then Greg Doucette and other bodybuilding figures dismantling his terrible bodybuilding physique. I mean, this guy.
Whatever you say, ankle biter McBench. But yeah, this is essentially like every critique of Dr. Mike that I see right now. It's people who have not really done much in life, trying to look for angles to criticize someone who is successful, and that is basically the key issue here. They are jealous and they are seething. So they're looking for angles of attacking someone who is amounted to more than they likely will ever to. Sorry. I'm a little hungry and I'm under caffeinated. I think that a lot of this is just petty, bitchy, gay energy people trying to nib at the heels of someone whose success they are jealous of. That is it. That is very transparently that. Why is that a re-upload? Is it like a better edited video? 1 day ago. Let's see. Wonder if this is materially different. Why would you re-upload the same video?
Not only is Dr. Mike's PhD not only stupid,
is it all the same?
And gets you into 411 or inside.
Why did you upload the same video twice, my guy?
All right, fellas, welcome to some breaking down of rolling footage here. Go right here. Holy freaking buckets. I didn't know legs could hyper extend inward like that. That is freaking impressive. That is like a rounded circled edge on that. But anyway, gingerly step in. I do not recommend doing this. If you're going to step into headquarters, step way further than I did. That was...
Oh, they're holding hands, chat. That's so cute. He talks all this fucking shit, but fuck technique might would rip his arm out of his socket and beat him with it. Not even that. Like, I think it's a bitchy and gay criticism of someone that you are just seethingly jealous of, and you're hopping on to the current thing to farm some clicks in the hopes of getting like even a crumb of clout.
It's like a baby step in. Do not do that. That was terrible. Anywho, I feel comfortable in headquarters. I feel pretty comfortable. Sam hits me with a slick little counter here, okay? He counters it by doing like a reverse false sweep. He brings that left hand in, clasps his hands, elevates me a little bit, switches it to a reverse grip, gets that stapled leg out and into a X guard, and it's a sweet, sweet wrestle up here. I look to circle back in, fight the hands, almost get my foot free, but he gets the knot into the rope, dumps me down. Now I gotta play guard. And so Sammy puts the
he almost succeeds because, unlike most nerds of the internet, his video has at least a crumb of pussy in it.
Right away, I try to get some underhooks, frame him to get this bulbous boister span off me. I go into half guard here, switch to half butterfly. Does a good job, bring my knee inside. I try to create some distance to get away, but he's got the body lock pass, and now he's Habibi mermaid wrapping me, and he got me mounted. We went off camera. He got in my back for a second. I scramble away. I try to get away. A little bit more successful this time. An unathletic escape as all get out, but hey, at least I'm not on freaking bottom anymore. Does a little, who's that? I fall for it. Gets me. I step back in, ginger.
But wait, but I thought just pulling guard is bad. Why aren't you just kicking him in the head like you would do with someone who turtles?
Really didn't learn my lesson the first time. Keep my weight back, but this time Sam tries to get like a head and arm to hit a butterfly sweep, and then he tries to elevate me with that tricep. That's a good grip for you to have. As I overextend on posturing up, he falls back to elevate me. Gets my hands on the mat, goes for that cross shoulder push with his left hand, is looking to go Kani Basami on the inside leg, but luckily I know it's coming, and baseball slide out of it and spin out of it. Narrowly escaping danger there.
It actually looked like a poorly fumbled Tawaragaeshi that you just fell out of, but whatever you say, man.
We reset. I'm looking to pass, looking to get him supine somehow. I'm not going to gingerly step in anymore. Learn my lesson. Hit a fake gorilla mode roll. I use a little angle to get on good flat.
So I'm sorry, but like scooting around on your ass is okay, but turtling is not. Make it make sense.
Gorilla mode roll. I use a little angle to get on good flat. Switching directions good. Right, and he cut through. He inverts through. I try to go double underpass. He frickin' stuffs it. And now he's back into another wrestle up. I sprawl, get my legs away. But now he's behind me. You never know. You never want a man behind you. You know what I'm saying? And you don't really want him in front of you. But, you know, behind him is probably the worst option. I fight the hooks off. We almost run into that guy. Sam says, get the fuck out of the way. And the guy moves. And so now we're in this rear position. We're in turtle. I'm just trying to not let him get any hooks away. Looking for an opportunity to explode, stand up. Because, you know, just stand up. Jiu-jitsu doesn't work. I'm keeping my hands behind me because I don't want him to pop in and lift and return me. So he just, a knee slide. Classic wrestling escape. Almost get my hips through. And now I turn and face. Just classic wrestling escape there. Good little exchange.
So no actual jiu-jitsu used. Okay, cool. Yeah, my guy, I wouldn't say that your game is much more impressive than Dr. Mike's, and you probably would not be able to do much. Is going to be my review of that. That's all the slop we had for today, eh? Or rather, that's the most slop that I would like to work with realistically. I don't want to over slopify today. All right, let's close Chrome. I have downloaded the Mechanicus demo, and I am not sure that it won't rape my GPU. So we're going to put it into overdrive. And we're just going to play that because I'm interested to see what Mechanicus 2 is like. I want to hold out hope. I dearly, dearly hope that it's going to be a good game because I've enjoyed Mechanicus 1 quite profusely. Since games and demos. But yeah, a depressing day on theinternet.com. Vampires the Masquerade has already come out to be a severe disappointment. I would rather just rebuy the original Bloodlines and play that on stream someday. Probably shrink me down a little bit. Settings, audio, musical. How's the volume? Keep that a little bit lower. SFX volume a little lower. Sounds a little loud for me. How's it coming through for you, Oni Dojo? Go graphics. Let's keep it on high actually, just to see if it cooks my GPU. Shrink myself down a little bit so that you get to see more of the game. New campaign, normal difficulty. Let's not skip the tutorial. Let's see what the new systems in place are. Acatius 4, Adeptus Mechanicus Forge World. Inceptive Forge World, okay. Alright, we get more in-engine stuff. Really, a world with...
can confirm the presence of Xenos structures.
Voice acting, okay.
Your objective is to explore and catalog any Xenos artifacts and report back to the Onii-san knowledge.
Such a shame to finally find what I have sought and not bring anything back.
Limit your activities to observation. Our thought world is young. We would know what has been here before. Only then can this region be consecrated to the Omnissiah and its bounties exploited.
Of course, Prime Hermeticon. My maniple will locate an entrance to the underground structure. Let us venture deeper. There is always so much under the surface for the taking.
Okay, but Scaevola should know better. Like, you can see that those are very obviously Necron glyphs. Then again, she is, yes, she is a xeno-archaeotech. A weak mind will seek to understand the Xenos, a strong mind will destroy them and bless their ignorance. I'm not sure if I like the fact that there's no voice acting. I'm still on the fence about that. I really liked... I really liked the fact that all dialogue was just, you know, binary murmur. Ah? Is my... Okay, are we actually shitting the bed? Let's see that GPU use. Holy hell. 100% GPU use. Let's lighten that load a little bit.
Nationwide is so much.
How are we doing? A little bit better? Slightly. Oh no, okay, it shitters up pretty significantly. Let's roll those windows down a tad bit. Disable bloom, texture quality set to medium, texture filtering. Ambient occlusion disabled. Let's try that. Apply settings. How are we doing? Come on, bring 100% GPU usage. Oh boy, that's not great. How is this using frame rate? It's a lot of frame rate too. Can I not cap this? Oh boy. I'm not liking that 99% GPU usage. Let me drag that over here real quick just to check. 100% GPU usage achieved when I tab in. Oh boy. Let's see if we can bump it down slightly, or if I have to break out the simplified model. It's not just space, it also just takes up every bit of computing power. What are we... This is horribly optimized. Anti-aliasing, low frame rate unlimited. That's probably a part of the problem. Ah, okay, that was the issue, the frame rate. Maybe we can even have a little bit of quality. No, definitely not ultra. We're not doing anything on ultra here. Apply settings? Oh, okay, so it was just the frame rate that was blowing us out of the water. Noted. Holy lack of optimization, Batman.
A door left open for us. Perhaps seismic activity has opened it. Excavation Manipul Eta 7. Scout ahead. Secure the entrance. These ruins belie the much larger structure beneath. There is much here I find familiar.
Wait, is this now a 4X game?
Xenos, my hypothesis holds true. The day will not be wasted after all.
How's it coming through on the stream side? That is an awakened tomb. Those are Necrons, who are very obviously active. Welcome to Mechanicus 2. Mechanicus is a turn-based tactical RPG in which you can take control of a powerful leader supported by a group of combatants. To avoid defeat, you must ensure your leader's survival at any cost. Select your turn and your units to play it. You can play each unit once per round. Use tab to cycle through your available units. Okay. Movement and weapons. By using movement action, a unit may freely move up to its movement limit during the turn. Each weapon action may be used once per turn. After using a weapon, the unit cannot move. You can increase animation speeds of units, rates and statuses, ending your turn. Okay, the UI is a little bit smallish. Oh, we're shitting up again, aren't we? Well, I don't know why I would have shadow quality high. Better? Better? Marginally. Better? Much better. Okay. Marginally better, I would say. God, I dearly need a new PC. It runs fine, but it does not enjoy having Vinian up. Alright, we have servitors. And we have a Skitarii Ranger. Some units have special actions known as skills. Unlike weapon skills, can be used at any point. Move. Macro Buster. Zenorite Omnissiah Axe. Volkite Blaster. Where are said the skills that we are supposedly using? Move. Let's knock these down. Weapon action with servo arm. Do we still get cognition points for getting whacked? Okay, and turn on this one. Yes, we still get cognition points for attacks on servitors. We're gonna be conservative. Huh. Is he currently being repaired? So. We're a little bit limited for range. That's okay. Macro Blaster. Let's move out some more, probably. I guess we wait. There's not much to do here. Okay, so my turns are not limited for which unit I use, but the AI actually has to move on specific turns. Okay. present another target here real quick. I wonder if I have to cycle through units, or can I just endless... No, okay, so I do have just one use per instance. Take cover. Some units can use cover to prevent themselves from being targeted. Cover can be potentially destroyed. Okay, there's now a cover system. No, let's not use that yet. But my cover shooter, Volkite Blaster, what's the range? Macro Buster, even less range. I mean, I could just use up that that point of cognition. I have way too much anyway. Ah, it's out of reach. Goddamn. Okay, my bad. End turn, I guess. Can I reach you? I can. Let's actually empower our weapon real quick. Right, and turn. Not too invested since this is a tutorial, so... What did you just say? That sounded like a slur. 2, 4... Oh, okay. I like the visuals. The visuals are nice, if taxing on the overall system. Do I not have camera control? I do have camera control. Let's move over here. It's interesting that she gets multiple attacks per turn. I think that's the same in the original, right? As long as you have cognition to burn, you can just endlessly do that. Or do you? No, actually. I think your turn just ends.
That is the last of them. An emergency? What is the servitor's status? Report. Then we shall have to see it for ourselves.
He just wants to steal all of their toasters.
Servitor 997 Gamma. Satisfactory? Evidently worse for wear.
Servitor requires attention before it's functional. Repair.
The servitor's logic circuits were burned out, and the gyro sextant misaligned. These have been corrected. Report on its status. It will have to suffice.
Unit recruited, okay.
This one is damaged. Its machine code generator must be malfunctioning. Servitor, engage low Gothic speech mode. Good. I would scour this place for its secrets, but it is unwise to tarry. Survey our immediate surroundings and report. The mechanics of fate have put a door in our path. Surely the Omnisire wills us to delve further.
I love how she's just looking for an excuse to touch all of the stuff.
A modulated current applied to the locking components should produce results. And it opens. There is no obstacle that will not melt away before a sufficiently cunning application of knowledge.
We're staying in character. We know that she would try to touch everything. That's a lot of rooms.
Manipulator 7 and mostly intact. Servo Skull, find us a way back to the surface.
For an eternity, we slumbered. And as we slept, we dreamed of half-remembered lives and new forms of cold metal and hate, of shackles broken and gods humbled, of the empire that was ours and the galaxy that bowed to us. From her slumber awoke Nefershah, our guard to the Pharaon Sankotep. Nefershah, she who was to decide the fate of Kivroth.
I will reserve judgment. Okay, we get to play Necron now. Okay.
Memories. Biotransference. The cold of the great sleep. I have dreamed, but now I wake.
The weight of eons lay on the tomb of Nefershah. The Vargard knew her slumber had been a long one, but there was no telling how long.
I'm sorry, is this new lore? Since when were the Necrontyr sexually dimorphic, especially, you know, after they were turned into Necrons? Is this, how lore compliant is this, excuse me?
There is no time to wallow in our past.
Will I have to drop another game because there are girl bosses?
I am the Vargard to Sankotep. My duties are to the throne. Cryptek Kynox, attend to me.
But I was not there. Nefershah found herself faced with alien intruders. She regarded the creatures with as much mild curiosity as anger. They appeared partially biological and carried weapons of strange and inefficient design. They moved to attack, but Nefershah gave no quarter.
Only the ignorant would despoil the tomb of a Pharaoh's Vargard. For that ignorance, I am the punishment.
Okay, let's see what we're working with here. Reanimation protocols. First time a Necron unit is destroyed in a skirmish, its reanimation protocol activates a round counter. Okay, that's the same as the last game, but now we get to use it. Some skills like Arise allow you to accelerate the return of units undergoing reanimation protocols. Ooh. Do I need to pick a unit, or is it... Oh, this is like a reanimation orb. That's cool. Do I have any ranged attacks? No, that's very obviously melee. Charge in a straight line and inflict damage. Let's go up closer here and end our turn. Wait, what? Whoa, the flayed ones? We're suddenly cool with the flayed ones? We just have them in an army? Are they not supposed to be, like, disgusting aberrants that are shunned by the rest of the Necrons? Okay, the Skitarii Ranger is going to be our priority target. Canoptic spiders. Canoptic spiders should be able to heal friendly units, so we're going to make use of that. All right, attacks of opportunity. I forgot about those. Dominion. Each time one of your Necron units inflicts damage, a Dominion gauge fills by the same number. Number is filled. A Dominion level is gained, and the gauge is reset. Each level enhances or unlocks certain weapons and skills. Aha. Okay, we've managed to dispatch the Skitarii Ranger, who was realistically the most dangerous unit on the map. What are we doing for range? Pretty okay. Mm-hmm. 4 spaces, okay. Just leave you here for now. Form up here. I would like to see Arch Warhammer's take on the state of the demo. What does this do? Like, I know what it does, but does it actually do anything for us right now? So this is our analog of cognition points, just the mechanism of acquiring them is different. Okay. Not sure how I feel about everything happening here. Why do we just...
Nevershah was extensive, and its observation protocols long dormant. Until they were fully activated, the Vanguard had to seek her cryptic advisor alone.
These unworthy trespassers must not be permitted to become troublesome. And still, Kynox is not present. My cryptech should be in attendance.
I mean, we were playing on home field advantage here, so I think haste would probably be better.
Honored Vanguard, forgive me. Some malfunction of the Tomb's awakening protocol. has sealed my stasis crypt until these invaders are gone.
Curb your obeisances, Kynox. Though the task is beneath me, I shall disinter you.
So I guess we're just getting two distinct campaigns? Or are we just getting a perspective of the campaign as it flows? But that would mean we don't have any agency in the outcomes. Deployment. At the beginning of each skirmish, you need to deploy your units with left click. You also remove them with right click. Number of units you can deploy is limited by your leader's capacity, which increases through upgrades. Okay. Well, I am going to deploy flayed ones just because I can. Even though I shouldn't, because... What is the current lore on the flayed ones? Engineer. Are you supposed to be the leader then? Let's take a pot shot at him then. Okay. Armor and defense. Some units have armor and defense, making them harder to kill. Each point of armor reduces physical damage. Defense regenerates each turn, absorbs incoming damage before it can reduce the unit's HP. Someone since skill can bypass that protection. Noted. Well, that's one less unit that we have to work with. Leave that guy here. I would prefer to finish off the Skitari before he becomes a problem. So we're supposed to be at least more or less guarded and keep our heroes safe, so we're gonna pull her back for now. Alright. I wonder if the AI also operates off of cognition points as I do when I play Mechanicus. Not overextend. That was a misclick, but you know what? That also works. The flayed ones are supposed to be shock troops, so let's just throw them at the problem. Oh, okay, so there's friendly fire there. So attacks in a cone, too. Run up with one more. We'll have the Skitari fight the two Necron warriors. No longer does acid damage on hit. That's interesting. Oh, double strike, nice. What does Dominion even do for us? All sucks to suck, nerd. That's unpleasant, but manageable. I have to say, I am enjoying the gameplay.
Cryptek, are you damaged?
Nothing that cannot be attended to later, Honored Vargard.
Good. Attend upon me, Kynox. What has caused this interruption to the Great Sleep?
The tomb's observation routines have deteriorated over time. Their data is incomplete.
How long has it been?
More than a quarter turn of the galactic plane. Many stars will have bled and died since we last looked to the heavens, Honored Vargard.
I see. Then, for all its sacrifices, immortality is undimmed.
That's what I would have preferred to have. That's why I liked that the Necrons were fully voiced in the first game, as opposed to the Mechanicus, who are supposedly more human, but they speak exclusively in binary.
The partial data indicates small biological entities are inside the tomb. Some warriors were roused in response, but they were destroyed.
So, we have an infestation of these vermin. The first of my duties is to see them exterminated. I shall attend to the security of my stasis crypt first, then drive them from the tomb.
So far, I like it. The optimization, I could take it or leave. Ooh, we get more. Okay.
We are still missing Engine Seer Devos. It would be logical to rescue him if he yet lives. Though an escape route is the highest priority, it would be an unforgivable waste to squander this opportunity to examine a Necron tomb. I lost treasures beyond enumeration to the exterminatus at Silver Tenebris. The wantonness, the waste. I will permit no such tragedy here.
Wait, is Scavola like the main character of this? That's kind of not... Wait, but why?
Less than useful. Should we come across Devos, all the better. But for now, I must determine the best route through this labyrinth myself.
Topographical scan indicates structures extend in all directions. Alien life signs nil. Let's examine, I guess. This is what I mean. This is what she would do if she did not have a Magos to wrangle her.
The tomb is no mere dead structure. Something stirs here, even if it sleeps. The circumspect approach was clearly the correct one. Thus, the pursuit of knowledge is always rewarded.
Less attraction attracted, fewer enemies will spawn in the next skirmish. Okay. Do I ever get more Magi? Because I don't like having just the one Magos and Skitari.
The tomb is not merely defended by dregs and stragglers. It is awakening.
Partial success, okay. Skitari Vanguards. Ranged carbine, okay. Move you back over here. You're gonna get at least one ranger. Let's go for more vanguards. Meet them up close. How did I? No, wait. But no, how do I undeploy someone? There we go. There we go. That's better. Alright, let's move you out here to body block. That was to be expected. Out of range, out of range. It's interesting that they can self-administer litanies. I noticed that the flayed ones no longer have that automatic aggro, so they're just a rushdown unit now. Kind of deprives you of the intricacies and the differences between different classes. I find that somewhat less interesting. Probably need more firepower on this side. Just gonna hang back a little bit. Scavel, what are your ranges? Not quite enough. Gonna keep you back here. Xenorite Data Curse. Applies weaken and immobilize to the target. We'll make use of that later. Reinforcements, that's always nice. Although these aren't my reinforcements. Let's have another ranger on the board. I think we're in a situation where we should maximize firepower. Fine. Okay, shut him down. Well, that is just rude. Wait, why did one of them... Okay. I'll get an attack of opportunity. I think that ends my turn, so I'm just gonna not do anything for now. Well, why can't... Unit engaged in melee, I see. Good thing that I have so much cognition available. Weakened and immobilized. Use a power-up litany. Still out of range. Wait, what does that do again? Generates 1 cognition point. Who is up next to go? You are up next to go. That's fine. You'll just attack a servitor. Do I want to give these chuckleheads an opening to attack? I probably think not. I would prefer to shut them down. Ah, that's a shame. Let's move you over here. Use the free macro blaster. Scatter him. Yeah, that's done. That's done. I wonder how expendable the Skitarii are now, because apparently I get them back after every map.
The structure ahead appears unstable. Topographical scan. A ravine we must cross. Erosion or seismic activity has taken a toll on the tomb. Time is pitiless, even to the Necrons.
Let's go avoidant.
Moreover, this was a storage area for samples of an alloy I do not recognize. The Necrons in their ignorant slumber grant us a gift. It would be illogical not to accept it. Another gateway. This one far more elaborate. Could our path have taken us not to the outside, but to an inner chamber? The Omnisire commands that the knowledge beyond must be gained. Devos lives, but barely, it seems. Give me his life signs. What little flesh remains of Devos has proven weak indeed.
So that's a tech priest, okay.
Shock his central nervous system. A full bioelectric reset may stabilize his augmentations. lives were beyond remedy. Unfortunate. This death represents a significant deficit in resources.
Gain +1 maximum damage.
Enough delay. Open these doors. A not unexpected welcome.
So far, I am cautiously optimistic about this game. Let's focus on fielding rangers. No, we do lose our cohort if they are damaged, actually. Damn, the range on these. Not a lot of shooting that can be done across the rift. So we're gonna place you over here in a soft ambush. Out of range. Do this. Alright, we get cognition. At the very least, we get cognition. Gotta create more bottlenecks here. Let's see if we can't force them into a firefight with our range advantage. I think you're fine as you are. Draw them in a little closer. If Scaevola is the main character of the campaign, I'm not too gung-ho about that. Much preferred Archmagos Tenebris. Because basically he was your self-insert, because basically you had the agency to either call other magi on their shit, or indulge in it. Which I think was way more interesting than just to have just Scaevola run around a Necron tomb touching everything. No, we can only do that with direct line of sight. Okay. We can spare the cognition points. Ah, because it's a multi-hit weapon, it just sends them away instantly. Interesting. It's a little too close for comfort. Alright. Oh, does the litany influence everyone, not just the caster? Do not have line of sight on anything. Who is up next to attack? You are. Let's make sure we put you out of commission. Not quite. Not quite. He's still drawing a little closer. Oh, that's unfortunate. Wait, they can fly? That's not fair. I'm about to get my shit pushed in. That was a misclick. Nah, that's on me. Alright, let's move over here. We can use our heavier weapons. Yeah, that ranger is not doing too hot. The scarabs seem to no longer administer healing. Send you over here to do work. We've burned through our entire cohort. Oh, did we kill him?
Heart of the tomb. Random fate generation has led us here. The Omnissiah willed it.
We have one ranger left. Not even ranger, Vanguard.
Nevershah's first glimpse of the invaders was of an individual who would prove to be an outlier in their number. Though Nevershah did not know it at the time, this Scaevola was from the human order of the Adeptus Mechanicus. It was learned in the ways of scientific theory and practice, albeit only by primitive human standards.
A strange and biological thing. Is this what has infested the galaxy in our absence? One would imagine evolution had produced something more robust. So this is indeed a tomb, and you are the one interred. Evidently a Necron of some seniority. A rare specimen. It understands us. Physically unimpressive, but advanced.
Okay. I'm not. Well, I mean, she is a xenotechnologist, a heretic, if you can. Xenorite. That's the term I was looking. She is a Xenorite, so she, I assume, would hide away some knowledge of the Necron language.
You shall discover just how advanced we can be, Xenos. This primitive creature addresses me as if I were an outsider. Yet this is my domain. One that no intruder will be permitted to tread. Let alone a whelp from a species not fit to witness a Necron's majesty. I am no tinkerer with ancient trinkets I do not understand. I have harvested technology from 100 Xenos races and delved into secrets even your once great civilization does not know. We mastered the forces of this galaxy before you even stumbled blindly across your world's surface. What secrets can you know that are not trifles to the Necrons? It is only fitting they die with you.
Is the story really just this? Is it just two women having a catfight over whose daddy is cooler? What did the writers mean by this? Oh, okay. It's like that, is it? Let's see. I'd probably want some kind of fire support on the fringes over here. Blade ones to rush, and one more Necron for support here, I guess. That's probably it. That's, that feels like a lot more range than I was allowed with them. Mm-hmm. I probably want to save. Yeah, you know what? I'll use my reanimation protocol now. And I'm going to walk in a little closer, still body blocked by the Necron warrior, though. Oh, we just get reinforcements for free. Let's block you off. We will prevent her from doing any range damage while we're here, so at least that's good. And soften defenses. Can I not rotate? Oh, I can rotate the camera. Okay. Haha! Get nibbed on, nerd. Let's go here. I want to contribute some direct damage here. Gotta play our hero unit a little harder. Why do they get reinforcements? That's not fair. This is my tomb. I will be the only one who gets reinforced. You little bitch. Oh, I do not benefit from cover, do I? Let me free up her movement so I can go into hero on hero violence. Oh, not yet, not yet. We need to pull back. We're a little exposed here. I really don't want to take more damage with my hero. Self-destruct protocol. Aha. Irradiated. Wait, you can cause area of effect damage too. I am going to wipe on this, aren't I? Restart skirmish. Where this is not going well. I don't know how to play Necron well. Seek profane knowledge and find profane fates. Interesting. Alright, let's rethink this real quick. Let's approach this with, as we would a phalanx. Or rather, no, let's create a bottleneck. Let's just have a full-on range deployment over here. we focus on thinning them out from a range, because we outrange them significantly. Gauss Reaper. Oh, wait. You had a different weapon on you. Send you to flank. Walk up slightly, but not too much. Okay, good. We got Scarab reinforcements. That's pretty ideal. Wait, is Scavola also has a reanimation protocol, because if she... So if we're working on rules that are consistent with the previous game, then Scavola being a high-level Xenorite would also have something akin to reanimation protocols. Just get mauled to death. You radiated, so that's a status effect now. I wonder if there's a way to clear that. Stack some damage on the hero real quick. Rude. You come into my house, touch my stuff? Probably should work in a little closer. We'll just add another shooter here to the rank and file. That's right, waste your cognition points on the scarabs. Unfortunate. He will just get mauled if I do that, so we're gonna go over here and body block the ranger instead. I am likely going to lose one more. Probably popping this a little early. But I think we can engage in fisticuffs now. Oh yeah, pretty handily. With some range advantage, we should be able to lock her down completely. There we go.
Countermand self-preservation routines. Full principle defense protocols. Retaliation.
The leader of the invaders used its underlings to surround Nevershah while it fled her sarcophagus chamber. Other guards swiftly dispatched these sacrificial minions, but not before the instigator of the intrusion had escaped her.
The architect of this outrage has fled. Moreover, this intrusion may not be isolated. There is no telling how many aliens are on Kivroth. I must go to my Pharaon. Sankotep must know.
So is this how we're just going to experience campaign? No agency, no... No branching development?
They disgusted me. Eons we slumbered, waiting to reclaim our galaxy. Only for it to become infested with vermin that proliferated in our absence. Now, we awaken to retake what is ours. Wretched amalgamations of meat and metal, shackled to ignorance by your faith. Do you truly believe you can stop us? We, who have shattered our very gods and enslaved them to our will. The stars were young when our empire was ascendant, and when the last of them die, we alone will remain. For we are immortal.
I feel like this cutscene is weaker than the Machine is Eternal one for Mechanicus 1. Like, it's good, the sound quality is there, I can see the in-character writing, but it just doesn't slap as hard as the title drop of the first game. Watch the gameplay trailer, no thank you, add Steam to wishlist, already done that. Autosave. If I resume, does it just put me into the, it just puts me into the same sequence. Okay, I guess that's the end of the demo. So far, things I like. Seems to have more advanced combat, more things to do. I like that the Necrons are playable, that should be interesting. Things that I'm not too hype about. I don't like that I don't have access to tech priests. Like, it seems that I just have the one static leader character that does not seem to have a lot of variety in what equipment is available to me. So it's just the Volca. It's like just 3 weapons plus an ability. And the rest of the gameplay is just pieces on the board. It would be more interesting if we had Necrons who are more unit-driven versus the Mechanicus who are more hero-driven. I think that would be a better way to do that. So, I'm probably... The opposition of 2 girl boss characters also kind of on the nose here. I would probably not pre-order this game. Just from the looks of it, I don't think I will enjoy it as much as Core Mechanicus. I will probably still buy this on the discount. Like, it's a solid game. It's just not what I wanted from a Mechanicus 2. It's not more Mechanicus. It is a different game, largely. So I don't know. I'm not gonna. I would not advise. I'm not going to say that this is a bad game and you should not buy it. So you make that purchasing decision just based on your attitudes towards Games Workshop. But I'm definitely waiting for a sale. Okay, what else are we doing today? Let me quickly check my Steam library. Mechanicus. Raise the Colors. I don't have it downloaded though. Let me see if I can download it. Download it to my hard drive and see how. It's only a 600 megabytes, so it shouldn't be that long. If it takes a while to download, we could watch some slop in the background while it installs. It is progressing fairly quickly. So this is a free-to-play game. Digby has shown it to me, and apparently it has a co-op element. Kind of. Oh, all right, already ready to go. Allow. Requires some admin permissions. All right, game capture. Hoist. There it is. Okay, raise the colors. Character. English lass or English lad, okay. Core English physique. Create game settings, audio quality low, of course. Music volume, let's keep that to 10%, please. SFX down. UI volume, master volume, that's fine. Video, windowed full screen. VSync off, max FPS 60, anti-aliasing low. Texture quality, medium, foliage quality. High shadow quality, let's set it to low. Medium. Shader quality low. Post-processing. This is going to be horribly optimized, I can tell. I guess create a game. Friends only true? Create a game. Is it supposed to be only multiplayer, or can I play on my own? Do I need multiple people in? Okay, so I have a countdown. What are my controls? What are my controls? How do I hoist the color? Pick up, drop, switch item, change seat. How do I pick things up? Continue. Very, very bare bones. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Do I need to acquire the flags from somewhere before I hoist them? I'm pressing all of the buttons, but it's not letting me interact. Oh, okay, so I need to get my flags first. Okay, got it. Not allowed. Oh, okay. Is that what just happens? Results, no. Rating F. Okay, understood. Instructions unclear. Really, really drawn on. Okay, let's try that again. Let's try to find a game. Not a very densely populated game now, is it? Alright. Let's try that again. Now at least we know what we're doing. Took us a while to figure it out. Like a semi-stealth game. Ship. Ah, so that's how we do that. Okay. Oh, so just one-hit KO? Is there a sprint? I think I'm supposed to favor the English flag over a Union Jack. Okay, you know, it's reasonably, reasonably easy to do. Getting more Union Jacks than English flags, though. I grab this one. My hoisting options are kind of limited too. Alright, so they ignore me as long as I don't have a flag. Okay, got it. Damn, there's a lot. They're really swarming. How do I use the ladders? Ah, I said I ran out of time. What do you mean rating F? Fuck you. Alright, reasonably fun, a little lean on interactions. Definitely a multiplayer game first. Alright, reasonably funny. We may play that with Digby sometime. You know what? I think I'm just going to call it a day. I am hungry. I have not had breakfast, and I'm getting cranky. So, possibly a product of me drinking the very, very harsh tea that I use as my caffeine source. Restore window. Let's see what's happening on Twitch. Oh, Ricky's playing Metro. Ricky is playing Metro. My gift sub to Nuna has expired. That's too bad. What will I do without my gift sub to Nuna? Really? Y'all don't seem to enjoy Mechanicus at all. Noted. Let's raid into Ricky. Ricky Source, there she is. All right. An embarrassing single-person raid, but a raid nonetheless. Shame on you, Oni Dojo, for abandoning me to fight off the vile Xenos alone. Next week. There will be no stream on Saturday. There will be a stream on Wednesday, and then I am gone for 2 weeks. So be sad that you will not, that there will not be streams for you to enjoy. I'll probably put out some edited videos, so please pay attention to those. As always, this has been Onii-san, reminding you to eat enough protein. Bye-bye.
Looking, I swear to God. NX, thank you for the gift for Mary. Thank you.